What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to this installment of the Casually Chelsea Show. We have a jam-packed show with so much to talk about. Before we go ahead and get started, guys, typical admin stuff. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like the channel, as it does help us grow in the community here. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you know when we go live. Make sure you check out the links in the description for everyone's channels, everyone's content, Discord, all that fun stuff. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about today's show, as well as leave you do have the option for super chat, and there's also memberships starting at 99p, 4 different tiers, different emojis for you guys to use. The more members we get, the more emojis we unlock. So by all means, go ahead, check that out, check out the perks, and it does help out the channel tremendously. But without further ado, I'm here with my panel: Oliver, Chris, Scott, Ahmed, and myself, Marshalldbdx. Sorry for the delay, a lot of things happening, but we're here now. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road because we have a lot to discuss. Let's start off with player values. So a recent tweet came out from Simon Jones reporting some players and what we're valuing them at. So starting off, Chelsea wants the following fees for these players: Mason Mount, £80 million; Kai Havertz, £65 million; Conor Gallagher, £50 million. Kovacic is expecting Man City to agree a fee for his transfer in the coming days. Conte's departure to Al Ittihad last week would allow room for Caicedo, Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, Mendy, Hudson-Odoi, Baxter, and Maatsen all have interest too. Good to hear that we have some bidders for some of these other players, and good to hear that Caicedo is still in the books. Any opinion? I'm surprised these are even like. I mean, are we entertaining Maatsen, or is it just saying that there's interest for Maatsen? Because I know there is interest for Maatsen.
Maatsen's got a year left on his contract, so we could.
He's got 1 year plus one, essentially. He's got 1 year plus one.
Oh, plus one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But Chelsea plan to keep him, I'm pretty sure, right?
Nope, he's going to go.
Oh,
Yeah, probably.
I say Burnley have strong interest after last season. I imagine, I don't know for certain, but I imagine there'll be a bunch of other clubs. I know he's had interest from Dortmund in the past, and they are currently down a left back, depending on where you'd class Guerrero. So there are a few places I could see him going, and I'm not surprised he has interest. I believe the fee, or there was a report at one point of it being around like 20 million, I think, was what would be the fee for him.
30 to 35 million, yeah.
it's not bad for someone who's never played for Chelsea again.
It's
It seems to be a reoccurring trend. It happened to Gahey. Now it's happening with Levi Colwill, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then Maatsen.
Gahey still was a great sale though. 20 million.
With the
Yeah, it was 25, right?
wait, there's a
No,
buyback
it
clause
was,
in
uh,
Gahey's
it was-
contract,
it
right?
was
Oh?
16. It was 16 plus add-ons. So
Oh.
depending
Yeah,
on
but
if
I
you
think
hit the
add-ons
add-ons
was
or-
up to 20 million. Very
Yes,
soon.
if he hits all the add-ons, then it'll go up to like 20, 25 mil. But it was 16 face value.
Still, we all did a lot of centre backs. We have a lot of young centre backs. Like we have too
He's
many.
a-
So.
He's a left back though, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's a
Well,
left back.
Maatsen
Or
is
he's
Yeah.
playing as a
dead.
left back.
I thought
Oh,
he
you're
was
talking
centre
about
back.
Gahey. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
Gahey or Maatsen. I'm sorry. I'm talking
No,
about
no.
Gahey. Okay.
Wait, even
Not-
Maatsen
not-
doesn't have a spot on this team, so
But
just
how do you guys feel about these prices though? I think the Gallagher price is a little outrageous. I'm not gonna lie.
But
And
again,
obviously the Mason Mount one is ridiculous.
But again, like, these are all the starting prices. We know at the end of the day, they're not probably going to not be sold at this price.
Sure.
Probably going to be somewhere down the middle, or like, maybe a 60,
Yeah.
65 million, if you'll be honest. Gallagher probably will go for 40 million. I can see 40 million for Gallagher happening, actually. And I
Sure.
want to.
Yeah,
at least
and I'd be okay with that.
35.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with either of those prices, and even with Mason, like I'd be okay getting rid of Mason for around 60, maybe even 55. Havertz 50, 55. I kind of value them the same, but again, like I talked about this briefly in the last show, we have to kind of set our prices high because if we set up prices lower, the teams that come in with offers are probably going to lowball us even more. You know, no one's going to just come in and pay the price that you asked for. Even if it is a decent price, they're always going to try to give you a lower offer. So I think this is fair. And as long as Stanley, which I'm pretty sure Stanley is the one in charge of the negotiations, as long as he can negotiate a better deal or a reasonable deal, I think we're golden here.
It's basic knowledge as well, like listing players like high in their worth. Like if players like like you said, like it's just basic doing that. Like you obviously go down and work out like agreement. Like it always goes down to like like you say 80, 90 minutes. It's always go down to 70 or whatever, or 60, whatever the player's value. Unless we're not looking to sell and they just come with an offer, then yeah, we don't put a price tag on them. But we put price tags on people who are more likely not wanting to stay here, like they want out and all that.
Yeah. But with that being said, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about Carney Chukwuemeka and the plans that Chelsea have for this youngster. So Bobby Vincent reporting Chelsea do not plan to sell Carney Chukwuemeka this summer or include a permanent clause in any loan contract. The Blues are considering sending the 19-year-old midfielder out on loan this summer to help him get some more first-team experience elsewhere. I guess I'll go to Oliver. Oliver, how do you feel about a loan for Carney, considering that we haven't resolved our midfield situation just yet?
I'd imagine he'd be pushing for it. I mean, he was sold a promise last season. That promise obviously wasn't kept. He got far less minutes than he was probably promised, and also that he deserved through the limited minutes that he got. So I'm happy for him to go on loan. We should be trying to keep him because, hopefully, going on loan, he'll develop. That will raise his value. And that'll mean, with him becoming better, he either joins our team as an option or we sell him for more. So there's no problem here. And especially if we're getting we've got linked to that that Vega from Celta Vigo.
Oh, Viega.
Yeah, we got linked to him. He's a kind of attacking midfielder sort of thing. So if he comes in, I doubt that leaves even less space for a player like Carney. So just no problems with this in any way, shape, or form, I guess.
I was gonna say, like, if he had no chance this season, like playing much minutes, next season with like less competitions there, I think as well, and other players coming in, and Kuku and Vega, like you said, he just has no chance starting. So if he wants to, be wise about like get a loan, even maybe if he wants to be sold or something, I don't know, it just might not work out at Chelsea. Like, I don't see him as a main guy at Chelsea unless he does really well at his loan or whatever, and proves to be a really good footballer. And I think he's looked okay. I don't think he's looked bad when he's came on for Chelsea or played. He's looked a bit raw at times, but that's just because he's 19 and young and all that, so it's going to happen. So, yeah, definitely a loan. He has to be loaned at least.
This thing, though, it's far too soon to draw conclusions with this guy. We've seen him in limited minutes. He's had good moments. He's had bad moments. We need to see a proper run of games. If he's not going to get that here, then he has to go somewhere else.
Did you want to add anything about the whole Carney Chukwuemeka situation?
Or
Ahmed,
the thing with the young guys and the loans is at the moment I kind of want to wait and see what Pochettino wants to do with them, because we've heard all various sorts of reports of what the club or Pochettino apparently wants to do with some of these youngsters, whether that be Santos, Casadei, Colwill, whoever. And so I kind of want to see what he wants to do with him first, because he might have a place for him in the team. If not, then yeah, I'd like him to go out on loan. Honestly, more than anything, I just want him and the other guys to just be given a pathway of like, this is why we bought you, even if it is to eventually sell him for like triple what we bought him for. It's probably like unreal expectations, because I think we spent like 20 mil, something like that. Whatever it was.
Yeah, we did.
But I at least kind of want these guys to have some sort of pathway. I want to see the vision and the direction of where they're going. I don't want it to just be another situation where it's like, we've got this guy here, he doesn't really do anything because there's no sort of vision, and in 3 years we sell him for basically the same price we bought him to some mid-table Premier League team or some like half-decent German team or something. And it just feels like a complete waste of time.
Ahmed, did you want to add something, or did Scott cover it
Yeah,
pretty much?
oh, that's literally gonna just say quickly. If the club don't see him in his plans for the season, make sure to take him out on loan to allow him to develop. It's really as simple as that. He needs more time.
Yeah, fair enough. And like Scott had mentioned, and I think I saw some tweets saying that, like, when in the case of Carney, they're kind of want to do whatever Poch wants to do. So it's really based on what Poch wants to do with him in his future. But let's see what happens. We'll play it slowly. On the topic of youth and loans, we have another one here. Let's talk about Casadei. So, as some of you may know, Casadei's had a really awesome under 21 World Cup. He's been really standing out as a starlet in the tournament. So Cesare Casadei is currently more likely to go out on loan again, but he will hope to make an impression when back with Chelsea. Chelsea and Pochettino will decide whether to include Casadei in his first team squad or preseason, with the new boss set to split his squad into two groups. This is coming from Nazar Kinsella. Has anyone actually been like keeping track of this player in this World Cup run?
My
Go ahead,
so I'll just quickly. My cousin is Italian, and he's been following him, as a fan of that team.
Sure.
He's been, from what I hear from him, he's been very impressed by this guy. Just seems like a very complete package in terms of,
I've been hearing nothing but good things.
Yeah, he's quite a big guy, but he also has good ability on the ball. He just seems quite complete as an overall package. So, nothing but good things I've heard.
Yeah.
The other thing actually I did want to say as well on Casadei, and it kind of links to what I was talking about with Chukwuemeka, with the loans as well. We saw this a little bit in the summer with the loans that these guys are deciding to do in a good way, in terms of we can't be having situations like we did under Marina and Roman at times, where the loans were just shit. Like they were poorly thought out. They were just poorly thought out. They weren't teams that made any sense most of the time. Like these loans we're sending them to, like for example, there is no point sending a guy like Casadei or a guy like Chukwuemeka to, I don't know, let's just say Nottingham Forest. No offense, Forest fans, if you're listening. Or there's no point sending them to, I don't know, basically if they play defensive football, or if they play, if they're going to be against the ball a lot of the time, there is no point sending these guys there. Like, because even though Casadei, right, him going to Reading, he was obviously the best player there. I don't like that's an okay first loan move, but that can't be the type of loan move we're making for these guys if we see them a certain way. There's no point sending them there. You want to be sending them to your Brightons, your Newcastles if they can get a chance there, your Aston Villas potentially, your who else? If you can, maybe like elsewhere, other countries like your Dortmunds, your Napolis, maybe. Like I'm just kind of spitballing, but those type of clubs. Like I'm not out here seeing Casadei
competitive clubs.
Like if I see a loan, like if I see next week here we go, Casadei's moving on loan to Huddersfield, it's playing to Neil Warnock. I'm not here for that. Like I need to see kind of these guys fitting in the right mold or like the right area.
I think that makes perfect, and it's totally reasonable. I think the Reading loan did suit him though. I think it definitely suited him in the sense that it definitely made him stand out. He definitely got the play time that he needed, and it definitely made him put him on the radar a lot more. Which I think you need players to put themselves on the radar. You need players to not rot on the bench. Like we saw what happened with Gilmore to Norwich. We need players to play in teams that aren't going to get relegated all the time as well. Like Ampadu, and almost every single team he's gone to has just gotten relegated over and over and over again. And it does hinder players' talents. You want to put your best players or your best prospects in this instance with good talent as well, because it does influence their game,
But with the Reading loan, and Scott did allude to this, one of the great things about that was that it did show, when you send players to these kind of teams, it kind of does show like, okay, when you're put in a bad environment or you're in a sticky situation, do you get dragged down by your surroundings? And it's quite clear to see that Casadei and even Ampadu to an extent, I always hear that Ampadu's doing really good on his loans, despite always being sent to lower table Serie A clubs. It just just goes to show that they don't get dragged down by poor surroundings. So if ever they were to come into Chelsea and we were in a bad run, that okay, that's a guy you can depend on if they were to come in.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point. It does, like I was alluding to earlier, I think it does make you stand out. It does put you on people's radars, especially having that mentality to not be brought down by the rest of the team. And it is a plus to be able to play with other talented players, and learn from those talented players as well. But you need good loans for that. Ahmed, did you want to add something, or you're good?
Just quickly, man. I like Casadei from what I've seen from so far. At the end of the day, it's gonna come down to preseason. Do you wanna keep Casadei as a bench option, but you will receive game time to be like a understudy to NTT? If that's what you want, we should do that. Otherwise, again, I'm looking at a Premier League club to loan him to. Maybe a lower mid-table or upper mid-table, similar to what we did to Gallagher when he went to like Crystal Palace. Something like that, where you'll be in like a mid-table club. You won't have to worry that much about relegation, but it will just be about him playing regularly week in week out at the Premier League level.
Yeah, I get you, and I agree with you guys. I do want to see him in a much more prominent league, in a much more competitive environment as well. I want to see how he performs when there's like competition, like in a competitive league. So I think that'll definitely be a real test for him. But not to say like the U21 tournament isn't. Like, I think it is good to stand out in that tournament, especially when it's like a World Cup like that. It's, very competitive as well. Okay, let's go on to the next topic. And you know what? Just for Ahmed, I'm going to go ahead and put a drum roll for this one, because he's the one been looking forward to this. All right, Ahmed, let's talk about Ziyech potentially going to a Saudi Arabia.
I don't even know if this is true. What is Ziyech? It's going to Saudi.
Let's see, man. Nazar Cancel is the one reporting it, so it's a coin toss, man. You better just hope it lands on the side that you call, man. So Hakim Ziyech has been the subject of an approach from Saudi Arabia's Big Four. They're also tracking Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Ahmed, the floor is yours. I'm just gonna give you the round of applause for this one. The floor is yours on this one. Go ahead, do your thing.
We need this, man. You know what I mean? We need this, man. You know what I mean? The club need this. Our souls need this, you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Listen, man, we need to be cleansed of this sorcery, this judge that this guy has produced, because he's produced zero, okay? He's produced zero of that sort of. He's sourceless at this football club.
Doesn't he have a goal this season or an assist?
Oh, wow.
I think that's zero.
Wow.
That's not zero, though. You're saying zero.
You know what, man, Marshall? This is a Ziyech fanboy, bro. Just come out and say it, man. Just say it's Ziyech fanboy.
No, I'm just spitting facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said zero, and I'm saying like, well, if you gotta go to it's not really zero.
This is the only sorcery that Ziyech is producing right now. You know what I mean?
Zero, though. It's not Callum Hudson-Odoi numbers. I'm just saying.
Listen, we don't talk about that. Listen, yeah, man.
Yeah, not arguing that.
At the end of the day, man, Ziyech, bro. You know what I mean? He's another Aki. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I know there's a Quincy's Promise situation as well. You might be
Quincy
into that.
Oh my god!
If you're not careful, listen, man. Saudi's looking good for you, bro. You know what I mean? It's just next to Mecca, Medina, and Muslim guys as well. Saying, man, both of them just handle your business there, man. Enjoy, bro. Enjoy.
Oh wow, I'm surprised. He has 3 assists this year in the Premier League. That's insane.
Bro, why? Just the why?
No,
I'm just saying that's not zero.
Ironically, that's more assists than Havertz, so that's all that.
Sheesh. Oh
That's
my.
still pretty low.
Speaking of which, did you see the stream today? We found out today that Tammy Abraham has more assists in his Premier League career than Havertz.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, that's a double doozy. Oh my days.
Listen, you know what? Yeah, you know what you do, Scott?
We downgraded from Tammy Abraham. Deep that for a second.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do, Scott? Yeah, when you get to Havertz, yeah, I'm gonna ask Marshall some questions about Havertz.
Oh, please don't.
We're gonna see just his soul drain out of his eyes. We're gonna see him die.
We're gonna do that today, bro. Yes, we are.
If you're on the Discord, I had a very hot take today. I would say that. So I'll just leave it at that. Join the Discord. So I might embarrass myself on stream, but you know what? I'm here for it. I'm a humble man. I'm an honest man, and I'm not perfect. And you guys I just want you guys to know that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to stand a player who's been fucking miserable shit this season.
That comment's correct, by the way. Werner better than Havertz.
Yeah, we'll leave that up for you.
That is true now, man. You might have to say facts to that comment, man.
But hey, man, listen, I'm all for selling this guy to the Saudi team. And hey, Saudi, listen, we have plenty of other players. We're having a flash sale. You want to come through the Chelsea merch store? You can buy all the kits from all these ex-players as well. Do what you got to do. But come on through. We got Gallagher. We got Mount. We got all the players you need. So if you want to build a whole team of 11 players that were Chelsea rejects, we got you. And you have the money, so let's do it. Let's do it up. Actually, to be honest, I think we have a starting 11 of Chelsea rejects that we could sell them.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, sure.
What about starting 11? We've probably got a squad. We've probably got an 18-man squad.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. Were you going to add something to that, Scott?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to add, I was slightly wrong about the Tammy thing. So Havertz has more assists, but it's only 3 more and in double the minutes.
There you go, Havertz.
Doesn't really
exactly. The reason, by the way, the reason I remembered that is because I actually remembered it's Werner that has more career assists at Chelsea than Havertz.
Werner is actually bad. And Kai Havertz by a mile.
We will touch that. Hold on.
No, some more breaking news just came out, but I'll send it in the group chat.
All right, send it in the group chat. Send me the link, please, and then I'll put it in the show. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic I wanted to discuss, which is your favorite topic, Scott. Levi Colwill. Okay. Scott, you can open this one up for us, right? Brighton will bid again for Colwill, and it's a £40 million proposal as called last week. No changes, and same for Chelsea. No plans to let him leave. Part of a long-term project, and this was a tweet from June 6th where he and Fabrizio pretty much said that they were going to try to bid in 40 million pounds. So, I mean, Scott, I'm sure you've said everything you need to say about this, but go ahehead and you just don't care.
I don't care.
So you don't care if he goes for 40 million pounds? Is that what you're saying?
I just don't care to talk about him anymore. That's all it is. Just don't care.
He's all Levi Colwill down.
You're Brighton, don't you think? Though, like we pay we pay 50 million for Cucurella, and they want to offer 40 million for Colwill, who's apparently very talented, very good. And
I mean,
he's obviously
Chris, to be fair, they don't make as much money as we do.
They're in Europe
right now. They're making more money than us. They're in Europe.
But that's a record-breaking fee for them. 40 million is a record-breaking fee.
Oh no! These Premier League teams can spend. Look how much Nottingham Forest spent. Yeah, coming up in the Premier League, like 200 million.
Yeah, but doesn't Nottingham Forest have rich owners?
They're going to be getting I'm
sure the Brighton owners are well off.
They're going to be getting better TV deals now.
What Brighton are doing is cheeky, but they're doing the right thing for themselves. Like using Nottingham Forest as an example, it's not a good thing. These man bought 39 players. This man bought nearly 2 whole. This team bought nearly 2 whole teams, like 2 full squads in 1 season. That's not a good thing. That's what Brighton aren't doing. They're spending their money wisely. Like they obviously want
40 million is just not enough.
But like, no, it's not obviously, but like, it's as Marshall said, it's their record transfer free because they don't really spend that much on players because they're
wisely.
Yeah, exactly, and the money they spend is, and also the guys they spend it on are normally fairly unknown, like your Caicedo for 3 million, like your Encisos, your Mitomas, etc. So they can afford not to spend the big money, and also they're trying to be smart from a business sense. Like they obviously don't. The reason they can do what they do with Caicedo is because they know he's a hot commodity, and they know that he's as good as he is. And the thing with Colwill is like they need to try and work out how much they can offer and kind of see if they can force Chelsea's hand in a way. Obviously, Chelsea probably won't sell, but it's like they're being smart with it. It looks to us as fans like they are lowballing, and they are in terms of like the amount.
Yeah,
they can give us a straight spot with Caicedo. Call it even. Then,
but that's not calling.
Pardon?
I said that's not calling it even though, because that leaves them about a centre mid.
Well, they can buy a centre mid for 40-50 million, like they was going to spend on Colwill.
Yeah, but they don't want to, Chris. They don't want to do that.
They can buy Mason Mount for 50 million. You know.
They don't want to do that. That's the point. Like that's literally the point.
Come on, Mason Mount will doing wonders. Like playing in Europe as well. Like he'll win the score like final. What then? Europa League?
Also, they've already got a midfielder. To be fair, they've just signed one of the 3.
Yeah, they just lost McAllister. Mason Mount could be the McAllister replacement. Actually.
Oh no, he can't.
Oh my god.
He's good enough. Like 50 million.
No, he's not.
I don't know about that one, Chris. I know what you're doing, Chris, but I think you're stretching it now. That's the part of the sales pitch where people look at you like,
I just want people who don't want to be here out like quick as possible at this point now.
Man, you've lost some sauce there, mate. I can't lie to you.
I had no sauce to begin with.
Oh,
why does Can I ask you a question? Why does Colwill not want to be here?
Colwill? No. I didn't say Colwill don't want to be here.
I assume
Yeah, we don't know yet.
I'm talking about like people like Kai Havertz and
they
Mason
can get
Mount and all that. Like they can go, man.
We'll definitely talk about that. But on the topic of players that don't want to be here, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this before we get to the next topic. Hey, smash that like button. You know, wipe your feet at the door. Hit that like button. I know some of you just tuned in. We have a jam-packed show for you. A lot of great takes, a lot of bad takes, a lot of medium, semi-medium rare takes. I don't know. We're trying to cook here, okay? So go ahead and smash that like button so that we can go ahead and help the channel grow, all right? I appreciate you guys. Next topic. All right, Ahmed, you wanted to talk about this. Let's talk about this, bro. You want to dance? Let's dance, dude. All right, Mbappe leaving PSG. All right, this has nothing to do with Chelsea, but it does have something to do with Chelsea. So, just in, PSG will try to sell Kylian Mbappe to anyone but Real Madrid. And I think the bottom here says City will be interested. Yeah, I'm sure they will be. Actually, no, they have Haaland.
That's some Tottenham pettiness, man. They wouldn't sell Modric. That's some pettiness there.
Yeah. If I don't think I have all the news on this, but we'll discuss it because I do know a lot about it. Sources have confirmed that Chelsea are not working on Mbappe. They are not. They are working on other things and do not intend to do crazy things like pay an outrageous amount of money for this player that it's going to cost us. And then the breaking news is Kylian Mbappe's intention is to stay at PSG next season and run down his contract until June 2024 when he's a free agent. So if I gathered my resources correctly and I understand the story correctly, essentially what happened was there was a leak of a paper resignation that Mbappe had leaked, or his camp leaked, that PSG saw, and it was okay. Let me land and you can correct me where I'm wrong. All right, Ahmed. All right, and then basically saying that he has no intention to re-sign. He wants to leave PSG, which we've known for forever. Everyone who, unless you live on the rock, everyone knows Mbappe does not want to be in PSG. He got a really lucrative deal, one of the craziest deals in all of football, and that's probably why he's there. He wants to go to Real Madrid. So now PSG is in a situation where they have to sell him now or risk him running down his contract and leaving on a free, which PSG do not want him to do. Is that pretty much it, Ahmed? Or go ahead.
You are right initially about.
Oh wait, hold on. And the other thing I forgot to mention is that now he went on Instagram to say that none of this is true. I think he's trying to save face because the Parisians are probably really pissed off at him. And he's coming out and saying that no, none of this is true. I want to stay at PSG. I love it here. Yada yada. Go ahead, Ahmed.
All right. So let's get the facts a bit more straightened out. He initially, there was a letter that he sent, which basically says obviously that he's not going to be re-signing his contract, which he actually didn't have to do apparently. He just did it. So he sent it to the papers first on purpose, basically, and then sent it to PSG. And the thing was, the papers released the news faster than the PSG got the letter. So PSG basically were blindsided and everything. PSG basically needs to sell him because he's not going to re-sign the deal. And they're probably looking for around about 150 to 180 million pounds roughly for him to leave.
That's not bad.
And he's available on the market. He's come out to say that he doesn't want to leave PSG. And there's this news right now from RMC Sport as well, saying that he wants to stay at the club next season. And I think part of it probably is true, because if you realize he's making a lot of money, they've given him like a part of the Qatari investment fund, which is like billions of pounds. So he's earning billions. He's not even earning millions, he's earning billions. So
he's earning insane money and power.
So he's like, why would he waste a 1 year's worth of money contract? Let's say at PSG and he can go for free to Real Madrid next year. Simple as that. And at the end of the day, man, this psychodrama needs to end, bro. I can't lie to you, man. I kind of unironically feel sorry for like some of the PSG fans, because this shit is never ending with Mbappe, previously with Messi, and before that now with Neymar. It's really like it's become really toxic, man. And these guys, bro, that their squad obviously has got like 4 different teams inside of it. You know, obviously they're bringing other guys. It's just become like a toxic environment there, man. They just need a nice little clean reset and just start from start again.
Why can we spend like 100 million on Mudryk but not 150 on Mbappe? Why can't we not like attempt that?
No,
but like,
who wants to take this one? Because I've explained it a million times.
No, but Mudryk is like a way.
All right. Let me explain this really quickly. Let me explain this really quickly.
Oh my God, can I ask you one simple question? Yeah. Do you understand how finances work? Do you literally understand how maths works?
What do you mean? Like, no, but I'm saying we shouldn't sign Mudryk and obviously like wait for people like him when he's like his contract's running down. I'm not saying like have Mudryk and Mbappe together. Why do we like sign Mudryk and like for 100 million and then not get Mbappe?
Mudryk was 60 million.
No, but it's 100. No, but it's 100. Like,
no. It's only 100 if we fucking hit everything, which means if we win the Champions League, man. Like literally,
isn't there a Ballon d'Or clause too? There's a Ballon d'Or clause in there too, right? If he gets a Ballon d'Or.
This basically for us to hit every, for us to pay 100 mil, he'd have to get to the point where he's one of the best players in his position in the world. At which point, it's worth 100 million. So like.
I heard the Ballon d'Or just seems a bit weird. That does.
The good question as well. How much is Mudryk currently on?
Mudryk, I
97k.
97k a week.
How much, if you had to put a rough ballpark number on it, do you think Mbappe would be on if he can?
Mbappe, I reckon. Well, I'm pretty sure Haaland's on like 800 million at Man City right now.
No, he's on 400k a week.
No. I'm pretty sure he's reached like all the goals and everything, and he's gone up to like
400k a week. His base rate is 400k a week.
Yeah, his base, but I'm pretty sure because he's hit all the goals and everything he's done, it's gone up to like 800k or something. Ridiculous amount. I'm very certain anyway. But even Man United as well, they spend like 400k on like a bunch of players. We don't do that. So like surely we can still spend like a high amount on one player. Maybe it's still unrealistic there but how does PSG get away with it then? Why can't we do that?
Because they're owned by a little country called Qatar.
Yeah. Yes, I know they're owned by that, but doesn't, like you said, like financial fair play and all that. That still doesn't matter because they're from Qatar.
Listen, all right. Let's put it in frank terms for you, Chris. Okay, Qatar is offering these guys exorbitant wages. All right, and what does that? And therefore, these guys have basically no choice to accept because they're making life-changing money at the football club. It's really as simple as that. As in regards to FFP, they have been fined multiple times on the FFP PSG. Okay, so this is not nothing new.
Hey, 500k is definitely worth it. I wouldn't even care.
No. He wouldn't come on 500k. He would come on.
I know, yeah. But like, I reckon.
He would want $1 million a week. He would want $1 million a week, bro. Let's be real.
It's not about whether you would take him or not.
Accept that.
Most of us on this panel would accept Mbappe at our football club. My point in all this is it's not financially viable. It's financially impossible for us to sign Mbappe. Actually, no, I tell a lie. The only way it's financially possible for us to buy Mbappe is if we sell all the players we're looking to sell and spend our entire budget on Mbappe.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the only way it's financial buy.
And also, in my opinion, I don't want Mbappe at Chelsea's football club. I don't know about you guys. It just feels like with him, he's just too much drama. I feel like the club would literally have to bend over backwards. That's how I feel about it, to be honest. The club would literally have to bend over backwards for him in order to meet all of his demands. And even then, he probably wouldn't be even happy. So, if we're being real, bro, Mbappe, sometimes these,
fair, yeah, we are 12.
Hall of Fame players. Listen, okay, whatever, best. Like sometimes, bro, a lot of these like top tier, like number one guys in their generation, it's not worth it, bro. It's better to maybe have them along just before they reach their peak, and you're able to, have that time, like a Hazard, for example, when he had Hazard from 2013 to 2019, where he just literally was like flying non-stop, essentially, and you saw what happened there. He became one of the best in the world, and we were able to, we didn't need to go bend over backwards for him at all. So it is what it is, man.
I can't. I'm still taking Mbappe. It's just not. It's not physically impossible. It's impossible in every feasible way you can think.
It's just a wage thing, maybe. Like that's about it. But like,
it's not just the wage. It's the how much he'd cost. It's the.
We spent a lot of stupid money like in summer. Like I don't think we should like spend like 600 like that summer because it does like stop us spending a lot more in the next summer.
It's going to the
because
summer, Chris.
we didn't. We had no like directors and all that. Like we should like saved a bit as well. As exciting as it all was, like we made some great investment like Enzo and all that, and Casadei looks a great investment, and others as well. But yeah, like I think we should have saved some of it as well. But yeah, like we kind of blown it all in one summer. And
sometimes, Chris, I listen to you talk, and I'm like, do you watch Minerals? Like, what are you saying, man?
I don't watch
600 in the summer.
No, but we did no. Okay, the whole transfer window, the January and summer, all together in one season, we spent like 600 million in like
the overall cost of the contracts that we made in summer and January. Yes, they could cost up to 600 million. Yes, but that is not what we spent.
You're on about because you're on like 10 million a year, but that's still like we can't spend like crazy like for example this like season because we spent a lot like last season. Of course, we're not going to spend that. Yeah. We have to sell a lot of players as well because of this reason as well. Yep. That's why we're offloading a lot of players, and that's good as well because we do need to get rid of a lot of players like Deadwood or who don't want to be here.
Sure, I agree with that, but I just think Kylian Mbappe is reasonable, and I'm glad that at least Chelsea at least are being reasonable about this and already saying like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's not happening. It's not in any feasible way, shape, or form is it happening. Again, I'd love him to come to the football club. It's not possible. The only place that he can there's only two places in world football that he can realistically go. One doesn't need him. And I can't lie, if he went there, the only reason he'd go there is because the guy that's already there would go to the club that he has a chance of going to. And you look like a fucking idiot, to be completely honest with you. Like, the only two clubs in world football that can get him are City and Real Madrid. And if City get him, it's because they've sold Haaland to Real Madrid. So you just look like the second guy. You look like the side chick.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, too, I was going to say. I don't think he's going to go to Man City because...
The only place he can go in world football that makes sense is... Like, from a financial perspective, just everything is Real Madrid. They currently don't have a striker, like, at all in the whole club.
What about United, though? Now that they got taken over by the Saudis.
Do you think the Glazers... Why? Oh, no, they're not going to take over by Saudis, are they?
Again, if he goes to United, he's a mug.
Oh, sure. But, I mean, now that... So, I don't know if you know this, Chris, but it's officially... It's official that Chelsea, not Chelsea. I'm sorry, United took the Saudi bid, and the Saudis are gonna buy United. That's not official, but it's been rumored. It's been rumored around that that's happening now. And if it does happen, Saudi money. I think is it not? It's not Saudi money. It's Qatari. Or is it Saudi?
Actually, don't say that in Qatar, bro. Don't say the Qatar or Saudi Arabia, man.
I'm sorry, like I'm getting confused right now, like because I know there's like a correlation between PSG and the United takeover.
So okay, let me explain that one. So Hashim, who is like the king's like son, essentially, is trying to take over Man United. The owner of PSG is a member of government and is also like related to Sheikh Hashim as well.
So I think what I'm trying to get at is that if you sell to United as a PSG, you probably somehow make that money back.
No, you wouldn't. They're two separate clubs.
It recycles itself.
But technically, yes. Technically, because it's Qatar to Qatar, technically, yes. Okay, it would kind of make sense. But in reality, it's sent to two different clubs, basically. So it wouldn't make sense.
Like I said, bro, if he chooses to go to United over Real Madrid, because that's the thing, Real Madrid will be all over this. They will be all over this, whether it's this summer or next summer. They will be all over this. They will be all over Mbappe until he either moves somewhere else or they sign Haaland. And like I said, if they sign Haaland, Mbappe just looks like an idiot because he just looks like the second guy. He just looks like the second option. He looks like plan B, which could light a fire under his ass, create a chip on his shoulder, and he goes off. But at this point for him, it's Real Madrid or nothing. If you go anywhere else, you look like an idiot. Like, you look like an idiot from all of this. Like, well, no, let me rephrase that. You look like a genius with what you did with PSG in terms of the money aspect, but from a footballing aspect, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, he's wasting time now, like not winning Champions Leagues or like all them trophies. No one
really cares. Right now, that doesn't matter. If he ends up moving to Real Madrid, everything's fine. It all makes it worth it from every perspective because he got his bag, he made his money, and now he'll move to Real Madrid, win a bunch of trophies, and it's fine. It's calm.
But
Still
the
have
other
a
thing
big
too
bag
is
around him.
like, I don't know. Like, do you think PSG is going to be really reluctant to sell to Real Madrid?
Well, they
No.
won't have a choice
No,
next
they're
year.
not. If they get, no, they're not apparently. They want to sell him, and if you can get a good amount of money for him, why not, bro? 180 million for him is quality deal.
Yeah, Newcastle come knocking, man.
And also,
Newcastle-
that money, look at what they're currently doing. That money can be used to literally revamp most of their squad, or like large chunks of their squad. They're already trying to do that. Like, and also,
Lee, Zaha.
who's to say, right? That money comes in, they then don't go and buy a guy like Leao, for example, and make him that next guy.
Leao is a promising player, actually. I wish we looked at him, actually, because he was
Exactly.
like a realistic one.
Or you go and do that for Kvaratskhelia, for example. Like, you go and just find the next Mbappe. You go and find the next dude and make him that big guy, and build the team around that player.
Yeah. I would, if I was PSG, if like a good offer came, like 150 million or so, I would take it, long as like the player's fine with it and all that. Like, yeah, like you gotta take it. If you go next year about like he's not gonna resign, is he? He's just not going to. I don't think, unless they like, I don't know, just beg and like give him like 2 million plus a week or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah. But also that's the thing as well, is like they're in a similar position to what Tottenham went with Kane, and Tottenham didn't go for it, and if anything, it backfired on them because they couldn't progress. They didn't get that money in, so they couldn't then revamp their squad in the best way possible, and they've suffered for it. It could happen to PSG as well. I'm not saying they're worse off with Mbappe, but selling Mbappe could be a necessary sacrifice to then do work to that squad that is needed to push them from being just a dominant team in their own league to a potential force in Europe. I'm not saying a winner, but a force, to the point where you could be a consistent semi-finalist. You could be what Real Madrid are in a way. Where you're just a consistent semi-finalist most years, and maybe on one year you have a really good year and you push on and potentially win it. Like right now with Mbappe and Messi, and obviously he left, and Neymar, who is leaving probably, it's a bit hard because you've got to basically build that team, or you've got to find someone who works with that, who can build a team around those three or those two. Whereas if you can change it, so instead of building a team around one guy, or instead of trying to fit pieces around these two guys that don't want to work the way you want to work, you're able to work the way you want to work. And it's like you might have the best manager in the world. They might end up getting like a Pep, for example. And so he can build the team in his image to then potentially win the Champions League, for example. So like for everyone involved, it makes sense for him to leave as soon as possible. For PSG, as soon as possible. For Mbappe, fuck knows. And what he wants to do.
Yeah. On the topic too of Mbappe and how this affects us with Real Madrid and all that, let's go ahead and get the next topic going. Ahmed, you're live. Never mind. I thought you were frozen. All right, let's go ahead. He was so still. All right, let's go ahead and start the next topic, which is Havertz to Arsenal. Okay, so this really ramped up today. So last we left off on this, let's go ahead and start this. I think this was a result of the Mbappe situation happening. So Kai Havertz to Real Madrid at the moment is off. Go ahead.
Quickly, Marshall. It's actually, if you go to Park, I just did a complete roundup on Kai Havertz, which might make it easier for you to read everything that you're going to talk about. It's only one paragraph. If you want.
Where at? Who?
Literally on Pies, it's like his latest tweet. He's got Kai Havertz news in order of the day, how he went the day. So I don't know if it's easier for you.
Also, I disagree with what you said, Marshall. I'll touch on it a little bit later after you finish with all the news, but I don't think the Mbappe news has anything to do with Havertz and Real Madrid.
Yeah,
This,
press it.
Ahmed?
Yeah, let's press it. Yeah, show more. Then go down, my friend.
You know how,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Oh,
look,
yes,
see,
it's
you
been
got
putting in
everything
work.
there
Oh
for you,
my
man.
God.
Just enjoy the reading, you know what I'm saying? See, nice and easy.
All right, I'll read this and then I'll see what I have on my end too. That may not be here. So PYS reporting multiple reports here. First for Fabrizio Romano: keep a close eye on Bayern Munich for Havertz. Arsenal know that Bayern could enter the race in the next few days. Chelsea are open to offering Havertz a new deal, but the terms would likely be on less money. Arsenal, meanwhile, are willing to offer in excess of £200 £200 a week. Wow.
200,000
£200,000 a week. £200,000 a week. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? Jesus Christ.
Words are hard.
Right.
English is hard.
Breaking. Arsenal willing to pay £60 million all in for Havertz. Personal terms will be over £200,000 a week. Havertz is now for sale as he won't extend his contract. This is coming from Petty Goal. Sources feel Chelsea could be flexible on Havertz's price tag. Chelsea told Arsenal initially £75 million. That's coming from Fabrizio Romano. Contract with Chelsea and the player. If he stays, there is contact with Chelsea and the player. If he stays, there is optimism he will return to form under Mauricio Pochettino. I like you, David Ornstein. Contact with Chelsea and the player. Okay, this is the same exact tweet. All right, come on, PYS. Breaking. Arsenal make proposal for Kai Havertz, coming from David Ornstein. Kai Havertz told Chelsea he wants to leave this summer. Bayern and Man City have also looked at the possibility of signing him. That's coming from Jacob Steinberg. And then the last tweet here on Jacob Steinberg. There is a feeling that Havertz has suffered from playing long spells as a number 9. Mikel Arteta would give him the chance to play attacking midfield more often. Maybe. No. What I wanted to originally say, because this wasn't in this tweet, is that essentially with the whole Mbappe to Arsenal thing, or Mbappe to Real Madrid and all that PSG stuff happening, I think that does add to the fact that I think Mbappe or Real Madrid wanted Mbappe from the get-go, and now that he's there and available, that's their first choice. I don't think they're gonna want Havertz now if that he's in the market. If they're gonna try to get Mbappe, unless they fail, I don't see them going for Havertz anymore.
The thing is,
that's where I was coming from with that.
I don't think Havertz was ever the number 1 or like seen as the guy to be the first choice number 9. I think they see Havertz as the kind of what Asensio was in a way, where it was like, you're just a plug and play player. We can put you on the left, on the right, up front, in midfield if need be. Probably not in midfield, but you get my point. Like basically anywhere across the front three, to be that like utility player. I think that's what they see him as, because they don't really have with Asensio leaving, and I don't know about their winger depth, like what it's looking like since he left. Obviously, they've got Rodrigo and what's his face.
Vinicius.
Vinicius. I forgot Vinicius. They've obviously got Diaz back. He's another one, could maybe play on either wing. Obviously, Valverde's been playing there a bit of time. I don't know how long that's going to continue. So, like, their options in attacking areas off the bench are quite at the moment. They're trying to get a couple of other players. Like they're linked with Hosselu, and they're trying to get as a backup striker, I think. So I don't think it's linked massively. I think it's literally just the case of like they only see him as a plug and play player, and so for a plug and play player, even at Real Madrid, the most they're probably willing to pay, as I said, it's probably like 50 mil, probably for them hopefully around like 40, 45, because there's no point spending big money on a guy that's probably going to spend most of your season on your bench. Maybe come in for like some Champions League games, some league games here and there.
I do want to input these tweets as well. We have 3 more tweets here. Arsenal would be prepared to step up their interest in Kai Havertz if the price tag drops significantly, while Real Madrid have also looked at the German but are unwilling to pay more than £50 million for him. That's coming from Matt Law. And then I have another one. This is a David Ornstein one that was mentioned previously. This is a little bit more in depth. Arsenal have made a proposal to sign Kai Havertz. Pursuit ramped up in recent days. Contact with Chelsea and 24-year-old. Bayern also keen. 2 years left, so Chelsea ideally want to renew/sell. AFC planning formal offer to West Ham for Declan Rice as well. And then the one more tweet here is that apparently Kai Havertz is keen on the move to Arsenal. I think he just doesn't like. If I don't know.
I got a question.
Not working out at Chelsea.
It doesn't matter to me or anything, but where does he even fit in that team? To be honest,
he does.
Striker,
that's their problem.
I know it's their problem. I know it doesn't matter to me, but where does he even fit? I don't even know.
He doesn't. This is the point, and this is the point that Havertz stands need to get in their small, tiny minds. Not aiming this at you, Marshall. I know you're not a stan, so I said stands. where all of the clubs are currently Havertz, right? None of those clubs are going to be starting him. And if they do, it will be as a 9, where all you motherfuckers tell me he can't play or it's not his best position. He won't be starting Arsenal. That's a fact, because he doesn't start over Ødegaard. Plus, they don't really play a 4-2-3-1. They play a 4-3-3, which means he'd either have to be an 8 or he'd have to be a striker, because he ain't playing on the wing. Right? And he's not going to start a striker over Jesus. I wouldn't even start him a striker over Trossard, to be honest. And he doesn't start in that midfield. He doesn't start Real Madrid, as I previously showed. And again, if he does, it's a striker. He doesn't start for Bayern, because guess what? They're also trying to go for a proper number 9 in Vlahovic. He doesn't start anywhere.
So, if Arsenal actually came with a 50 million bid, I think we should definitely take it. I know, we want maybe 60 million for him, but if he doesn't want to renew his contract either, what's the point keeping him? He's just going to not renew it and just stay and take his wages and be inconsistently shit at Chelsea and just and then you go hear the fucking fanboys saying, "Oh, he's really good. He should stay. He's this, that, and the other."
Well, that's why we're open to selling him.
Yeah, just sell him for 50 million. I'd take 50 million for Kai Havertz. I'm done with him as well.
I think as it edges closer to the June 30th deadline for this season's accounting monitoring period, as it gets closer to the end of the month, I think we'll start to see these ideas of what the fee is going to be. We're going to start seeing a drop probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marshall, have you got anything else to say about your BFF Havertz? Anything else to say before I speak?
I mean, you go ahead. You go ahead and say what you got to say.
No, man, you know what they say, man. Listen, man. Host first, bro. Let yourself lay out, man. Lay out.
I mean, I do want to sell the guy. But I think the one tweet that stood out to me was the Ornstein tweet that basically stated that Arteta said that they haven't played him as an attacking position. Steinberg, thank you. And I've been saying, and I've been touting this for the longest time, and now you have reports stating the similar issue. Is he better than Ødegaard?
No way.
No, it's not even a
God,
pause.
no.
It's
Ødegaard.
great.
Ødegaard. Let me just remind you that Ødegaard just had the second best non-penalty goal-scoring season for a midfielder.
Yeah, no, I get it.
history.
I'm not trying to disrespect Ødegaard.
Oliver, I can go on further there, by the way.
Cool.
You're talking about the guy that had Arsenal won the league was player of the season.
Yeah.
He was very good this year, and Ødegaard was definitely going to have a second run.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Had it not been for Havertz, Haaland would have been player of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely him. And, De Bruyne's been really good this year.
So,
too,
what I want to ask though is, do you think that's a result of the player or the system that Arsenal have made?
Yeah.
I mean, taking your bias aside from it, do you think a player like Havertz could also benefit from that system and also potentially put up similar numbers to Ødegaard?
Benefit,
You've got to
yes.
get in over Ødegaard first, though.
Yeah, benefit, yes. Put up the same performances, no.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Marshall, I've seen Kai Havertz go into a bunch of systems right now, and not one of the systems he's really Tuchel he's been the best at for sure, but not one of them really he's really thrived in. And I don't know if Arteta's system will work for him. And I do agree. I think manager systems do actually help players more and players they are. I look at Klopp as well. His system actually makes a lot of those players look a lot better.
Here's the thing too, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of playing eye test football right here, right?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, when Ødegaard was at Real Madrid, he couldn't make the team, and he wasn't that impressive at Real Madrid.
He was a loanee kind of thing.
He was a loanee, and it just didn't work out at Real Madrid for him. He goes to Arsenal on loan first. Doesn't kick off immediately, probably because the system isn't established, right? And then now they bought him, and now he's doing really well. It has taken time, but he has been fantastic this season. I'm not opposed to selling him. Obviously, I think he does need to go. Chelsea's not going to help him. We might be restructuring. Maybe we become a system that does help him out. Maybe Pochettino gets the best out of him. But I don't blame Chelsea fans for not having the patience to stick with it, and I don't think I have the patience to take a risk on him again. Like, this is Chelsea. You know, if it doesn't work out, we've seen it happen over and over again with other great players better than him, and they move on, they go off. Like, you know,
So what you're trying to say,
Mata, for
Marshall, is
example.
that you think Havertz is going to cook at Arsenal? Is that what you're trying to say, bro?
What I was trying to say is that if by some miracle, and I don't think Arteta is this guy, but if it's true that he's identifying this issue of him not playing as a number 10 to get the best of him, and they have a system that may suit him. Look, we didn't think Gabriel Jesus was the guy to be a striker for Chelsea, but then he goes off to Arsenal and he fucking does really well.
He hasn't done well at Arsenal.
He wasn't necessarily the guy. No. His goal scoring wasn't up to that par.
Well, I was saying he wasn't going to be the guy at Chelsea, but at Arsenal, you know, but had he not gotten injured at Arsenal, we would be having a discussion between who had the better season, Gabriel Jesus or Odegaard. They were both having fantastic seasons up until that point that he got injured.
I still don't think Jesus' conversion rate is anything impressive though. Like in the minutes he did play, and some Arsenal fans do think that with a better striker, they would have won the title.
Jesus isn't a striker, but he gets placed in that position.
No, he thinks he's a striker, but in reality, he's a left winger. In reality, he's a left winger.
I agree with you. I think he's a left winger too, but they made it work in that system with Arsenal. So I'm just thinking in my head, like, if by some miracle Arteta can get this player that we all saw at Leverkusen kicking and screaming and just, you know, doing really well for himself, which I was sold that dream at Leverkusen, that this is the player that we're going to get, a creative midfielder who can be versatile and play all his positions. Now we see he clearly isn't versatile. I've always said he's been a number 10. If he goes to Arsenal, I'm not worried that Arsenal, like, I don't care. You can sell him to wherever club. He needs to go. I'm not worried where he goes. I just do think that at Arsenal he could cook.
Guys, I'm going to come in and, you know what I mean, it's time to put the hammer down because, like, you know, Marshall's doing it.
I want to say something.
I got you.
Time to cook, man.
I got you.
Listen, Arsenal play a 4-3-3. I do not think they're going to, just because Havertz has come to the football club, deviate to a 4-2-3-1. All right. So Havertz is either coming to play the new false 9 position, or as a backup, or something I saw today, which is absolutely crazy. But you know, it's not my football club. Havertz in the 8th position, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God.
You know. Listen, Scott.
You know,
don't say anything, guys. Don't say anything. You know what I mean? Okay, Havertz can play the 8th position, guys. You know what I'm saying? They haven't seen the Lampard era. Havertz 8. We're gonna move on from that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, listen. I'm going to put that down straight away. Listen, of course, there's a tiny chance that's going to happen to Havertz boots, but listen, it's not happening in my opinion, bro. I personally think he's just not fit for the Premier League in general. His body type, everything, you can say what you want. He's just not fit for the Premier League, man. And the way this guy, man, he is really a ghost, bro.
What you're telling me, bro, is that left-hand side could potentially be Zinchenko, who doesn't know how to defend, Havertz, and Martinelli.
Bro, listen, man, that might be apparently 8. I'm hearing Havertz the 8. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what cracks me up, by the way, actually with all of this, by the way, is all of this talk. You say this. I swear there are reports that literally came out towards the end of the season that Arteta wants to focus Smith Rowe's development as an 8 going forward.
Yes.
How does this all work, bro? Where does this fit?
Man.
Scott,
I don't know what's cooking, bro. I'll be rude, so I don't know what's cooking. But listen, that's not my football club, innit? So if they think Havertz can fit in the 8 position, let him fit. Listen, Havertz, 55 million plus 10 million in add-ons. Listen, nice.
I'll take 50 million with no add-ons still. I'll take it.
All right, Chris. Listen, you know, guys, Chris is just trolling. You don't listen to Chris on this.
What, you wouldn't? No. You wouldn't take 50 million as of right now. Like, he doesn't want to.
Listen, why would I take 50 million when I know I can get more for him? Be real, man.
Well, who else was offering? Real Madrid are like backing out.
Listen, I know Marshall just talked about Arsenal, but you know, it was actually revealed today that Bayern Munich.
Bayern.
Also
we did mention
you think Bayern would spend 60 on him?
100% Bayern would spend 60.
Wait, but same Bayern who doesn't go over like 40 million on a player?
No, they spent a good bit of money on De Ligt, and he wasn't exactly ripping up trees.
I forgot about De Ligt.
The German talent, bro. They will spend
German
that money.
tax. German tax, bro.
So listen, at the end of the day, guys, Kai Havertz leave at the football club, and you know what, man? In honor of Kai Havertz leaving the football club, I'm gonna test Marshall's love for Kai Havertz. I'm gonna ask you a question, Marshall. How many goals do you think Kai Havertz has scored over the 3 years at Chelsea Football Club? No one to say anything because I know Scott and Oliver.
Wait, how many goals do I think he's gonna score? Where?
How many goals has he scored in all comps at Chelsea Football? Oh no, in the Premier League. Ooh.
Let's start that one. Let's start the Premier League.
In the Premier League?
Yeah.
Over 3 years.
Wait, over the last 3 years?
No,
Yes,
in his whole Chelsea
season.
career.
Oh,
In his
Jesus
whole
Christ,
Chelsea
bro.
career.
Listen, I like Havertz, but I don't glaze Havertz either. Like, fuck me, man. Like, I'm not over here. I'm not over here throwing down his cock, man. Like, all right. If I had a guess, I'm going to say, overall in just the Premier League.
Just goals in the Premier League. Yeah.
Goals in the. Oh my God, that's not that many. It's less than 10. It's probably gonna be.
No, over 3 seasons, bro. Over 3 seasons.
Over 3 seasons. Over 3 seasons. Yeah, I think it's less than 10. No, I think it's less than 10. I'm gonna say probably 9.
10, man. Come on.
This season. He got 7 last season.
He got 7 this season.
He got 8 in the Premier League this season.
7 this season, 8 last season. He got 19. He's got 19 in all.
He's got 19 goals in over 3 years.
That's less than 20.
Tammy
Okay,
Abraham scored 15 goals in the league. Yeah, in 1 season.
That's fine.
He ain't good enough.
Yeah, anyway, let's move on. The next one we're going to be talking about. How much do you think his overall GA, goals and assists, in all competitions over 3 years at Chelsea Football Club? What number would you give that?
Like the average?
No, the total amount of goals and assists that he's had
All
over
competition.
3 years.
Oh, okay.
All comps.
Probably like 36.
I'm gonna say
That's my guess.
45.
All right. And how many do you think of that? How much? Yeah, and how much do you think of that as goals? How much do you think of that 45 GNA's goals over the 3 years?
Goals, it's probably, I said 45, so I'm going to say goals is probably 27.
All right, you're quite close for both. He has 47 GA in all competitions, in basically over 3 years, and he scored 32 goals in 3 years in all competitions, bro. You know how bad that is?
Pretty impressive.
You know, Kai Havertz this season.
I've got another stat for you, Mark. Sorry, Ahmed. I've got another stat as well. So you know what you said. So how many goals did you say he'd got in the Premier League in 3 years? 19.
19, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's only 3 more than Ollie Watkins got all season, and 13 of those was from January onwards.
You're such a baller, man. I don't know how we
do you know
Ollie Watkins nearly matched Kai Havertz's Premier League career total in 5 months.
You know, Patrick Bamford, 2 years ago, when he wasn't injured and in his first season of Leeds, was only 2 away from Kai Havertz's total Premier League goals.
Why? I don't understand why.
And let's quickly, this season, guys, this season, Havertz assists per 90 in all competitions is 0.03 assists per 90.
That's the mad
this is why I just take 50.
I know.
This is needed. This is
I smell the burning.
Guys,
right
this
now.
is
needed for the Kai
a
Havertz.
reality check, bro. This is a necessary
shit.
reality check, guys.
Holy
You know what I'm saying? Let me just look at my camera right now, guys. Kai Havertz at Chelsea Football Club.
I'm looking at you.
Let's move on, man.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bro,
Listen,
for
I'm loving doing this, bro. I just want to keep
bro.
finding players that are better than him, so I can keep cooking this motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what though? Like at the end of the day, it is what it is. I've been pretty reasonable. I've been pretty reasonable about Havertz.
Recently.
Sorry.
I've been reasonable all season or every season. Go ahead.
Taiwo Iwadi, that guy who plays for Nottingham Forest, beat Havertz's in 1 season managed to eclipse Havertz's best Premier League goals season. In 1 season, brother. For Nottingham.
He got 10 and 4.
He got 10.
He got 10 like 5 games, by the way. Like the last 5 games of the season, he scored 10 goals, guys.
We thought Tammy's 15 goals weren't good enough. We said he ain't Chelsea's level.
You know what? Hold on. I got an
Guys,
idea.
you know what, man? I've come to the realization that I feel like Werner might actually the bad player.
This guy's arse.
No,
I'm not
it's
normally
not-
on this
Don't
GNA.
get Chris.
I'm not normally on this
It's not-
GNA like. I'm not normally on this like GNA hype, but this is fucking funny. Like, how does this guy? This guy's meant to be an incredible off-the-shoulder ball roller, moonwalking, wheeler dealing, high flying, son of a gun, moonwalk, whatever it is. He's meant to be creative. This brother has like nearly the same amount of assists as Tammy Abraham does, and in one season scored less goals than Taiwo Awoniyi. Make it make sense.
So
Sucks.
I posted a poll in the chat. You guys in the chat, let me know if you actually want me to sit down one day, do my homework, and we can have a Kai Havertz debate. Because the thing is, the thing is that like what you guys are pointing out to me is all the things that I said, like all the stat comparisons, all the stuff is for a striker. I know he's not a striker. No one has brought to me any stats
you didn't
or
want to do
any.
that. No, Marshall. Sorry, you didn't want to do
Where's
that.
the inspiration then?
Marshall, you don't want to tell. You don't want me to tell you how many goals James Ward-Prowse got this season.
Oh dear, no, don't.
Okay, I mean James Ward-Prowse. It's
9.
probably more than
Yeah,
Havertz.
9 Premier League
What
goals
do
is
you
the
want,
answer.
man? What do you want,
9.
big man?
But
Yeah.
Marshall, he
The
doesn't
thing
really
is, like-
create though, does he?
This guy's
But no, but the
not.
thing is, he doesn't get the chance to create, doesn't get the chance to play. But we could save this for another time, because the thing is, like, everyone that always comes here and cooks Havertz, he cooks him on being a striker, cooks him on his goals and his assists, and it's like, yeah, sure, cook him. He's not a striker. You know, I could sit here and yeah, go for it. Hold on. I could sit here and cook Timo for his stats, his first season, which by the way, like his stats his first season, horrible for a striker, and he's supposed to be a striker.
Actually,
But they're horrible for a striker. He's supposed to be a striker,
he
right?
didn't always play striker, did he? He played at the wing.
By the way.
So no, but he did play striker a lot. So I give Timo credit for what he did. However, he's supposed to be a striker. So for a striker, it's not good.
What do we do, Marshall?
All right, Marshall. You know
Show
what,
me
man?
what you want to show
me. It's time to cook you, big man. So from
Oh,
what I'm
Jesus
seeing right
Christ.
now, should he be an 8? You don't tell me? Oh, non-penalty goal is 0.2 per 90. Non-penalty XG is 0.36 per
Okay,
90.
but again, this is wait, hold on.
Bro.
Versus okay. No, but this is the thing, like okay.
If you want
I-
even versus him, you know what?
All right, you know
Let's
what?
be
Hold on,
versus
hold
attacking
on.
midfielders and wingers, bro. That's because you're
Yes,
saying he's a
but
tank.
you have
Look
to
at how worse
understand.
he gets, right?
Let's
But
go to
look at
Harvey.
you have to understand where the majority of Havertz's stats coming from. They're coming from the position he played the most as a number 9. If you isolate the stats as he plays as a number 10, you have a totally different argument, which is why, hey, chat, let me know if you want to have a Kai Havertz debate. Oh, my fucking God. Here we go. All right. You know what? If you want to have a proper Kai Havertz debate where we can talk about fairly about Havertz at his best position, in my opinion, then we can have a discussion.
Marshall, what was the Kai
Can I ask a
Havertz
question,
quote,
by the way? Who's brought these stats up?
Me, it was me. All right.
Oh,
listen,
okay.
Yes.
listen, Marshall. Yeah. What is
Yes.
the Kai Havertz quote? I can play as a false 9. I can play on the wing. I can play whatever the man wants to play.
Yes.
Okay. So don't you dare come here and tell us here, oh, he's not a false 9. He's not a striker.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Listen.
he can play there. Okay.
Listen,
Let's
a
not
lot
do
of
this
players
again.
will say what they can play everything for the sake of playing. We saw what Romelu Lukaku did, okay? Like it happens. It happens.
For assist. Oh my God.
It looks
This
you
is
guys want to
crazy
have
to
this
know, bro.
discussion. I
This
see it
is
in chat. You
crazy
guys
to
want to
know.
have this discussion, so we will
bro,
have
I
this
just-
discussion. I'll leave it to you.
All I'm doing, by the
Listen,
way, hey,
Andrew wants to
people in the
cook
chat,
me.
Before he
Go
does,
for it.
people in the chat, by the way, if you just want to laugh for like half an hour or however long you want to take doing this, go on Transfer Market, open up one tab with Kai Havertz's goals in the Premier League, and go and look at every other dude in the Premier League. I mean, I've looked at Harvey Barnes, as I said, I looked at Ward-Prowse, I've looked at Watkins. I might go and look at Rodrigo, who played for Leeds in a second, just go and see what he did. Maybe
He got 11
non.
goals. He got 11 goals scored. He's got more
Oh,
goals.
brother,
look at that,
cool.
Go look at that Nottingham Forest striker, Owonyemi. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
he
you.
did.
Exactly, bro. You want to laugh? Just go and look at how many people have outscored Havertz this season.
Come
It's
on, Marshall.
fine. You guys, no. At the end of the day, though, like I want you guys to understand that I agree with you guys that I don't think he belongs to the club. He should go on to wherever. I think if Arsenal want to offer what they want to offer, take it. Take it now. Take it yesterday. It's not going to work out at Chelsea. But you just have to understand that I stand differently when it comes to Havertz. I think we didn't play him at his best position. And if you guys insist in chat and keep voting, then yeah, I'll prepare and we'll have a discussion on Havertz.
What evidence, bro? I can't wait for the evidence to bring to that debate,
bro. I've done my homework. I can do my homework, man.
Too cool.
I've done this before. I can do my homework, man. Because like I was on his channel when I fucking roasted the fucking Callum Hudson debate, fucking masturbators, and I whipped out all the stats. I was here when Minerals was talking all this shit about fucking Mason Mount, and that was just minimal homework. Listen, if you really want me to, we can do Kai Havertz homework and we could talk about where I think Kai Havertz is his best position, and we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
You talk about position.
Sorry,
I'm not going to do any homework whatsoever.
I know.
I'm going to RKO any Havertz defenders through tables.
Yeah, we get it.
Can I say under Tuchel, didn't he play like an inside forward anyway? I know he played striker a lot too, but he also played like an inside forward, whatever you want to call it.
Rarely.
I thought it was like 50, 60, 60, 40% of the time.
He had some games under Tuchel.
They were alternating positions in the game.
Chris, what happened is that when we got Lukaku, they started that season by playing Havertz and Mount behind him as like those inside 10s. But then very quickly Lukaku got injured and then Havertz started playing striker and he just carried on from there. So it was very rare that he played that inside.
Even with Timo,
can you hang on? Can you bring up Matt Benguzzi's comment, please? Oh, I can do it. What am I doing? Sorry. I can do that. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Right, so I heard this as a troll comment or not. You obviously haven't only been watching football for the past 8 years or something like that. Most important goal in our
At least I don't say this, guys.
The first one was Frank Lampard's against Bolton, and then the most important goal was actually Didier Drogba's goal in against Bayern.
I'll say
that's so important. We're so dominated.
Havertz goal don't even touch.
Yeah,
like
listen. It's an important goal, but it's not more important than those two right there. So, especially
you can even talk about the goal that I can't remember who scored it, but the goal that we scored to qualify for the Champions League before Roma.
Yeah.
It was an important goal, but can you just be so you can basically be inconsistent for like 5 years straight and be fine because you scored a important goal.
Just wanted to throw before we continue roasting this guy. I just wanted to throw another stat out there. Edison has the same amount of assists this season as Kai Havertz. You're welcome.
Yes.
Listen, bro, I can't wait
it's an actual pelican. All right. Yeah, that's what it is in the Abbey. I don't know what it's got. No, I didn't say. That's once again you have completely shown yourself up to not listening to what we're saying. Did we say it's not important? No, you said it was most important in our club's history, which means you know dick to begin with about our club, or you're just trolling. If you are trolling, fine. But I'm still going to verbally eviscerate you right now. So it doesn't even matter, okay? You know what? I was in a good mood. I've just had a bad Pro Clubs game, so now I'm pissed. All right? And I hear this Kai prop and this dick in the chat saying that Kai's in my club's history. I didn't say it again. Didn't say it didn't count. You're obviously hard of hearing, or you got your head up your ass. One or the other.
So
you know what I mean?
are we saying that?
Can't be trolling. Come on, you can't be trolling.
Drogba's goal is not like putting money.
You know what? You're right. It's just one UCL. I only recognise one UCL. Sorry.
The thing is, can I say?
By the way, I will say this. By the way, hold on, real quick before you go, Chris. I will say this. I'm not gonna waste my time doing homework and doing a whole video on Kai Havertz with these guys if we only get 19 votes. So over 50 votes. If you guys over 50 of you vote and say you want this Kai Havertz debate, I'll make it happen.
Just following on. Sorry, before you go.
Real Chris and then Scott, go ahead.
No, Scott.
I'll say it's just one point I wanted to make yourself. I found it really funny. Then you can go, Chris. Just following on from my previous comment about Edison, there are 4 goalkeepers in the Premier League who have the same amount of assists as Havertz.
That's embarrassing. But, I was gonna say, back when Kai Havertz was like in that
3 assists per 90, bro. That's one assist, bro.
Oh my God.
Ahmed, it's not that. Ahmed, it's not that. He said goalkeepers. That's what he said. He didn't say
that
is mad because that's just throwing me off a little bit. But Goalkeepers?
Right.
And you
Yeah,
want to,
goalkeepers,
you can't defend
There are
this guy.
4
'cause-
goalkeepers this season. Sorry, there are 4 goalkeepers on 1 assist.
Yeah.
That's how many assists Kai Havertz had this season in the Prem.
Right. This is the issue, right? This is the issue, Matty boy, right? Oh, let's hate on our player because it's trendy to do so. It's not hating on our players. You know what it is? It's like I want better for this club. Kai Havertz is a crap player for my club. I don't care what he does at another club. He's been crap for my club. And just because he scored a goal 2 years ago to win us the European Cup, I'm not going to let him off. It doesn't matter. I criticise the greats. I criticise Lampard, Drogba, Terry, Hazard, Cole, Cech, etc. Kai Havertz can't even wash these guys' underwear, let alone be in the same pitch as them. So if I'm going to criticise Kai Havertz and you're offended by that, then you know what? That's on you. You know what I mean? You're obviously too.
Ramirez had a very important goal too. You know.
Right, you're too sensitive, and you don't want us to progress. You're an enemy of our club. If you want Kai Havertz to stay,
you know, Werner's got then. In this case, guys, Werner's got the best run in the Chelsea's history because he did a little delusional one.
Hey, Werner was cooking in Champions League that season.
Have we discussed what Oliver put in the private chat? Has that been discussed?
No, not yet. We haven't got.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna hype for that one.
Go on, Chris.
I was gonna quickly say, like, all of us, I'm pretty sure, were all backing Kai Havertz back then. We was actually quite excited to see what he can do. Like, we know we didn't have the greatest season, but he did step up that season. But then we're waiting for next season. He didn't do that great. We still, I think, some like half and half of sure, like, we're still backing him for next season after that. And he still didn't show up again. Like, he's just not showing up. So we can't just sit here and watch him be shit every season. So, oh, we scored that final in Champions League, you know?
Here we go. So you ain't getting better than him, boy. I'm probably older than you, by the way. I probably guess I'm older than you. This Pelican probably thinks Nkunku is the solution. If Kai, let me do this. If Kai Havertz is the answer, I don't want to know what the question is. I really don't. It can only be a negative question. Who's got less assists and some goalkeepers this season?
That's embarrassing.
That's mad.
No,
you get paid to play attack.
I wish I could continue. This is funny.
I'm telling you, bro, Kai Havertz.
What does this statement even mean? When there's no green grass to run, he's used. What does that even mean?
He's always running on green grass.
This is.
Hey, Marshall, you need this guy to help you defend him. He can defend.
No, I can do it myself.
That's your boy, Marshall, man. That's your boy.
No, I can defend Havertz myself. It's okay.
I don't even know what that means. But we only play on grass. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? I don't.
Do you play on concrete? It's a primary school.
I'll say it in the chat right now to this guy, and I want you to listen very carefully, Matt. Give me 3 on the ball attributes that Kai Havertz excels at consistently. Can you do that? Count? No.
While he's doing that, just to add to this, there are 33 players in the Premier League this season who got more goals than Kai Havertz.
I can't say Kai Havertz is an amazing dribbler. I can't say he's an amazing passer.
No, Chris, don't help him.
Also, sorry to interrupt as well. Cody Gakpo, who came in January, has the same amount of goals as Kai Havertz does this season. Also, by the way, playing out of position because he's a left wing playing striker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, where's the excuse?
Make of that as you will.
Hey, Mo.
Yeah, of course. That's 100% what it is. Yeah, I'm super gay. Anyways, let's go ahead.
I wish, honestly,
it's Pride Month.
I wish I could do this.
It is Pride Month. I should be rainbow colored right now.
I wish I could do this all night. This is incredible. This is
the mark stats actually worse, you know. I'm listening to the mark stats. Oh my god.
I've won. And if it's a troll, if you throw a troll, I've won. He excels at playing football. That's what he's good at. Turning up in the big moments.
Cheers, lads. Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Where's the big moments you turned up the season?
We spent a long time on this, and we would be here all night. There is breaking news that just came out. Thank you. Who was it that posted? Oliver, thank you for posting this in here. Let's go ahead and talk about Gallagher to Spurs.
This is the most glorious thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, by the way, I don't know if everyone who's watching knows, Spurs have announced Ange Postecoglou, the guy that we were linked with prior to Poch, as their manager. So we'll see if he cooks. You know, like I've heard a lot of good things to this guy. I don't want to be the guy that tries it out. Let Spurs be that team, okay? But Ange Postecoglou at Spurs appreciates Conor Gallagher. It is true. It is true because people can't believe it. Chelsea would sell for a good proposal. This is coming from Fabrizio. Wow. So this is as reliable as it gets. It is true, ladies and gents, that Ange Postecoglou wants the Gallagher minerals.
Hang on. I'm sorry. The mask has slipped.
The mask?
There we go. Right there. The mask has slipped. I knew it. Thank you very much. I knew it right there. Thank you very much.
Why would we come back begging for?
No. Just I knew it. An acolyte has entered the arena. Yeah. You're welcome. Just like and subscribe.
We'll go backstage.
I mean, he is subscribed because he's in the chat, so I appreciate it. Hey, Matt, I appreciate it. I like that you're a Havertz fan, but you got to be a little more reasonable, okay?
I like Matt.
You have to be a little more reasonable, okay?
Someone challenging.
Hey, he's challenging. He's good at football, though. As soon as you said he's good at football, I was like, that is a Minerals talking point. But all right, the Gallagher news. Hey, if he wants to go, then he can go. I mean, is Gallagher a Chelsea fan? Maybe he might be reluctant to go.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't care.
Well, no, I care because this kid can say no to a lot of these teams. Like, remember what happened to Everton? People don't want to. People seem to forget this with the Everton move during January. He didn't want to go.
But Marshall, he wanted a top 6 move. He's got
exactly.
Well, you might not go to Spurs.
Not in my top 6.
Wait, hold on. Is that the top 6?
Big 6,
Yeah.
whatever, man.
Big 6.
Yeah, he wanted big 16, you know.
I mean, there you
They're
go.
the lowest.
Either Newcastle or Spurs.
Newcastle probably like.
Newcastle getting Barella, dude. They're not getting Gallagher. They're getting Barella.
No, but they expressed interest.
By the way, I need to talk about this Barella thing because how the hell are we getting links to Amadou Onana for 55 and I'm hearing 50 for Barella?
Oh,
how is that possible?
I don't know. Probably got inside trick.
That's the thing, you know.
Go on, back to Gallagher.
Yeah, let's cook this dude more.
Oh, Marshall.
Good for this guy. I mean, I want to see what they offer, what price their Spurs. I mean, have we sold that? What was the last player we sold to Spurs?
I can tell you actually. I mean, I did some research on this actually before, and I forgot.
Who was it?
Because I don't know how often we do business with these guys.
It was it not Carlo Cudicini?
Did he have a free though? Does he have a free?
It might have been a free. Let me look.
I don't know I don't know if this might happen, guys.
Oh, didn't he sell that young kid striker? Unicel.
Oh yeah, that's the last. No, did he not move on a free or was he?
No, he moved for like a fee.
Anyone in chat now?
That's youth though, right?
So I'd say the technical last player then, if that's true, we sold was Jude Soon-St Bell in January. The last player we actually sold to Tottenham before that was Gus Poyet.
Oh.
Right.
And that was
I don't think
over
we don't
20
have a good
years
history.
ago.
We don't have a good history with Tottenham and selling players, so
I
don't know how likely this is going to happen.
By the way, the other way around is like 50 years. They haven't sold a player to us in like 50 years.
Fuck me.
Listen, I'm going to be real, guys. You know, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, you're a stan.
At the start of the season, bro, I was rooting for you. You know, literally, man, I was putting up pictures like this.
No, you weren't.
I mean,
Shut up.
I was putting pictures up like this, man. You know.
You're back in. You're a Gala dog. That's what you are,
Listen, man. I was rooting for you, man. And you've had an absolute wreck of a season. Man, listen, man. Tottenham, it might be your level, bro. Enjoy Tottenham. If they give us 40 million for him, it's yours, man.
Listen,
Yeah,
I think the most person who is deeply affected by this on this panel should hopefully read his eulogy. Go on, Scott. That's the.
Hey, Conor Gallagher, when you're wearing the egg white of Spurs, and you know when you're having to press players and having to run around like a dog, when you're playing next to Eric Dyer and Harry Maguire behind you, When you've got Emerson on your right, and when you look over on your left, and you've got someone, fuck knows, Perisic maybe. When you look up front and you expect to see Harry Kane, but you see Richarlison instead. I hope, upon all hopes, that you look up to the sky, you look up at God and ask him, why do this to me? And I hope sincerely he slaps the taste out of your mouth.
I hope that if Gallagher arrives at Spurs before the transfer window ends, that I would love it that to be the time where Harry Kane goes, fuck this.
Harry Kane is just, I'm out of here.
You've got Newcastle getting Barella. You're giving me Gallagher. What the?
By the way, guys, that Barella news is not true. By the way, if you read
Isn't
the
it?
article, it's basically clickbait. Like they haven't even spoken to him at all yet.
But the thing is, I think thank you, Rashi, for your comments as always.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't believe Newcastle. This season, Eddie Howe was very, very precise in the way they wouldn't break their wage structure. Do you know what I mean? Like for players, they wouldn't do it. So you didn't feel it was harmony wise. Now, obviously, that may change with how good a player is, but 300k, I'm not too sure they would offer that. Plus, it's really hard to get prime, good Italian players out of Italy. No matter what, it's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to say Jorginho, but let's face it, half the fan base didn't rate him that highly anyway. We probably wouldn't say he's like one of the best, but it's really hard to get someone like a Barella out. It's like I just don't see that happening. And plus, I was stunned. I was a Big Six Banks when this broke. I was like, this is the most stunning transfer news I've heard in ages. Do you know what I mean? It's like just out of nowhere. But you're saying that was not the actual thing, yeah?
It's one of those, like you said, Andrew. It's one of those for Italian football. If it does happen, where like you said, it's kind of unprecedented in a way because I can't think of the only player I can think of. Actually, no, I can't think of a player off the top of my head that, like in recent memory, I'll say that was playing to this level and moved to like
a club that you wouldn't think of.
Yeah, or not even that. Just got a big transfer away to a decently sized club, because like, and even the ones I think about, went poorly, or it's guys like, because off the top of my head I was thinking of guys like Verratti, but when he moved, he was not the player he is now. He was like a youth player at the time. He'd like had some games in Serie B. I'm thinking of like Immobile, but that didn't go well. Like that went really bad for him.
An extreme thing. It would be like I'm not saying he's as good as, but in terms of the actual what he represents in the league itself, it'd be the epitome of like Iniesta moving from Barcelona during his prime. You know what I mean? Or when the first like couple of years under Guardiola, just out of the blue, move into an English club, no matter who they were. It just doesn't happen. It just wouldn't happen.
We've seen this before. We saw this with Locatelli. Like Arsenal had the chance to sign him, and he chose Juventus over them. And obviously they were at a different time in terms of their they were a different period. They weren't where they're at now, but still, he chose to stay in Italy over them. And like, I'm just going through. I'm just looking at their current team, right? Their current national team, and obviously there are going to be some people missing here and there. But it's red, white, and green that damn near the entire page. Like it's apart from Donnarumma, who I was wrong. He's probably the only other one off the top of my head. But you've got Donnarumma, Verratti, Jorginho, Zaniolo, some dude I've never heard of before, and Nonto. Those are the only guys outside of like Italy in the Italian squad right now.
Just quickly, guys. Apparently, also want to sign Havertz quickly because Bayern Munich are coming.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, if they can be a betting war for the player, that's even better for us.
Man, I always knew you were my goat, you know. That's what I'm saying right
now. That being said, any more final thoughts on not Havertz, Gallagher before we move on to some striker news?
So long, Gallagher.
I don't think it's going to happen in Tottenham. I think Newcastle, though. Maybe. We'll see.
No, not Newcastle. I don't think it's going to be Newcastle.
It'll be more likely Spurs than Newcastle.
Or even Crystal Palace. I could see Crystal Palace coming in.
Either way, somewhere else.
They won't pay. They won't pay.
And I don't think Gallagher would want to go. That's the other thing, too.
They don't even have a manager yet, do they?
They do, but I can't remember what his name is actually. I actually could double check it.
No, it's Roy Hodgson still, isn't it?
No, he was only till the end of the season.
Right, they don't have a manager, do
they? No, they don't have a manager.
Yeah, they don't.
Jeez, what? I was thinking them that.
They were looking at someone. I can't remember who, but yeah, they haven't signed anyone.
You know what's mad? Because I just saw Newcastle want Maddison. Maddison's gonna be cheaper than Gallagher.
Right,
No,
but the issue with that, Chris, the issue with that is if Leicester weren't relegated, they'd be asking for 75 million from Maddison.
Oh yeah, no doubt, yeah, but like
the relegation, you got to add relegation.
Yeah, the relegation tax. Yeah, it's gonna be like 30 million at probably max, right?
No, it's gonna be 50. It's gonna be 50.
I'm fairly sure as well that is this coming season his last year.
But also, he's the most creative English player in the last 4 years. So
yeah,
that's not Harry Kane, but you know.
All right, boys, let's go ahead and move it along to the next topic, which is some striker news. So some things have been confirmed in regards to links, and I'm not very happy about it. So let's go ahead and start off with this one. Apparently, this is true. Chelsea are interested in Lautaro Martinez. God damn it. Okay, we move on to the next tweet. Chelsea striker signings is still priority this summer. They like Victor Osimhen. They have had conversation in terms of the conditions of the deal for Rasmus Højlund about many different options, but they aren't decided who yet. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. And then one last tweet here from The Athletic. Chelsea, like Victor Osimhen and Dusan Vlahovic, is also on the radar. Rasmus Højlund has been monitored. They were considering re-signing Tammy Abraham from Roma. Oh my fucking god. But the serious knee injury he suffered in their season finale just over a week ago has removed him from the equation. I don't normally say this, and I don't mean it in a very bad way, but I think we are very lucky that that Tammy Abraham got that injury, because I do not want to entertain the idea of bringing this guy back for what do you guys? It's 80 mil, right? That's his buyback clause.
Yeah.
No. This guy's not it.
Listen, this quickly, bro. We know he's not it. He's had a stinker.
And neither's Lautaro, by the way. Lautaro's not it for me either.
Yeah, listen. I don't think Lautaro's coming to the football club. I'll be real with you. Tammy Abraham, thank God, is not coming to the football club as well. Vlahovic is not coming to the football club either. I'll be real. I think he's probably Osimhen or the other striker, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Højlund? What? Wait, what makes you think that?
No, sorry. It'll be Osimhen, possibly Højlund, but there's another person obviously we're going to speak about later.
Well, we'll talk about it right after this. But what makes you think that Vlahovic is off the table?
Because I think Bayern want him, and if Bayern want him, then they're going to go for him. And I don't think the club rates Vlahovic right now.
Even if we negotiate with
Juve,
we do have players that they may want.
Vlahovic, barring and Vlahovic is just literally on the radar. That's it. That's all they've said. Everything else has either been Victor Osimhen, Lautaro Martinez, or what's his name, Rasmus Højlund, and the striker that came out today. That's the only ones that have happened so far. That have been concrete minutes, essentially.
Fuck me, man. I like Vlahovic. I'll be honest though, it depends on how Poch plays. I really hope it doesn't. I don't want it to. I think he should stay at Inter and play with Lukaku, because Lukaku looks like he's gonna stay there, which we will discuss, by the way. There's a lot of fucking Inter news that we have to discuss. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is this new striker that Ahmed, you brought up. And has anyone done their research on this guy?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so Ahmed, I'll go ahead and let you take the reins. Let me just finish reading these tweets then. So Nazar Kinsella here reporting exclusive Chelsea striker search leads to talks for Villarreal's Nicolas Jackson. Next tweet here we have from Fabrizio Romano, confirming that the Nazar Kinsella tweet is accurate. Chelsea are tracking Villarreal striker Nicolas Jackson, confirmed as called by Nazar Kinsella. He's one of many strikers in the list. RB Leipzig, Milan, and more Premier League clubs are also interested. No decisions at this stage. Understand release clause is 35 million euros. And then one more tweet here in regards to this gentleman. Nicolas Jackson is a concrete option. Chelsea had positive contacts with player terms of deal. So we're already talking to this guy. I don't know much about him. From what I have heard, he seems like a very promising prospect. He has a lot of abilities that a striker should have, and he has what I was complaining about Lautaro, he has a good striker IQ. So he's got a good brain when it comes to playing that forward position. Ahmed, take the reins on this one.
So Nicolas Jackson, 21-year-old Senegalese striker. He's scored 12 times, assisted 4 times in the league. Positive traits about him: he's a very good finisher. He's got a 0.68 non-goal XGs per 90. He's very good. He's got 1.3 successful tackling per 90 as well. So he's very good at taking on his man 1v1. He's got like I think a key pass, 1.8 key passes per 90 as well. And so he usually is able to the pass before the pass, and his link up play is quite good and everything. Some of his weaknesses: he's not actually, even though he's 6'2", he's not very good aerially from what I've read so far. I'm just quite surprised me, and his hold up play isn't that strong. So, but if you look at his body, he's got a very similar body type to like a Tammy Abraham. So I think with him, it's about maybe a bit more bulking up, strengthening your core and everything. I made a video on him. I'll probably put link it in the group in the chat or something like that. Marshall also linked it probably in the thing. I'll just put it in the chat. You guys can watch it. And I think in general he's a good striker, but this leads me again to a dilemma I'm having, which is that you're probably gonna bring in another big striker, right? You're bringing in this guy now, which is roughly 30 million. Oh, 35. Sorry, he's got a 35 million euro release clause. Dacho Fofana still exists. You've got Broha, who still exists as well. So currently you've got 4 guys there, and if you're being honest, 2 of them can only stay at the football club. So what are we cooking there?
Did you also mention that he was injured this season as well? Which does add context. I heard he was injured this season for a short stint, which does add context to those stats as well. It actually kind of makes it better.
What was the injury?
I don't remember. Here, I'll actually look it up.
Check for them, to be honest. I can't lie to you. I can look at the market out. Transfer Market will probably to tell us anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a hip problem.
Oh, I was going to say, man, if it was a hamstring, I was going to tear my hair out.
Yeah, he missed 10 games.
Yeah, so, look, Vic, I mean, I don't mind bringing this player in. Like, I want our scouts to do their job, which we complained 2 seasons ago about how our scouts are absolutely horrendous and don't know how to do any. They didn't do any scouting pretty much. Now we actually have a proper scouting team. Now we have the actual organization. Now we have an actual structure, and we're getting good. Look, I'm only basing this off of the talent we've seen so far. I know we haven't seen much of Dacho Fofana, but from what I have seen of Dacho Fofana, I've really liked, and I do want to see him play more. He's got the dog in him, like we've seen it, and he's aggressive. You could tell he has the attributes of a striker. This guy, if what I'm hearing is correct, and he has to have those attributes of a striker as well. And for what Ahmed was saying, those stats and the amount of goals and assists he has in that little time frame, it's good. It is really good. And there you go, Ahmed. That's the video. You guys should go ahead and watch that for more information on this player, right, Ahmed?
Also,
yes, exactly.
I just want to point out as well, like, obviously, so what I'm about to say is quite, take it with a pinch of salt, right? But I don't know about attributes, but just someone mentioned another player in the chat in terms of coming from La Liga, in terms of Ziyech, and just mentioned that having kind of a similar body type. But if you look at Ziyech in terms of his numbers at Real Sociedad were not as good as Jackson's are at Villarreal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know in terms of level of the clubs how good Sociedad were at the time compared to how good they are now, but Jackson's numbers at the very least look better in terms of his output. So he could end up becoming good. We don't know. But as
Sociedad currently in La Liga is like a mid-table club. Obviously, they've managed to get Champions League this season. The other thing, though, also, Isak actually had a good season. His first season at Sociedad, I think he scored 18 goals in his first season. His second season, he suffered a bit of injuries, and he wasn't as good. That's why he had a lower goal scoring rate.
Also, I think as well with this signing, I think you talk about the strikers we've got. I actually don't think it's as much of a problem as people think, because I think there is I think the vision is clear with all of them but one. Like, we're going to end up with 4 strikers. We're going to end up probably, if all things go to plan, we're going to end up with a number 9, like Vlahovic, Osimhen, etc. Jackson as the backup, and then you've got Fofana and Broja. Fofana is going out on loan. I'm guaranteed that's going to happen. That's pretty much. He was going to go out on loan in January when he came in, but it just didn't work out. Broja's the only one we don't know, and I think it depends on where he's at with his injury, like with his rehabilitation. I think that might be something with Broja, where they look how he is in pre-season, maybe see how he is over the first couple of months, and then they make a decision by January and potentially loan him out for the rest of the season. And kind of see what happens there. So I actually think getting Jackson is fine. As I said, it's a good fee for a guy that looks good. As we've mentioned, it's a guy who not a lot of us know, but it looks as though they've actually done their due diligence on this player, and things like that. And it's, as I said, it's the type of signings we've been after. We can't complain that these scouts aren't doing their job or aren't going out and actually going and scouting those hidden gems. And then when they find someone who could be a hidden gem, complaining and throwing toys out the pram and why are we not buying X player? You can't have it both ways.
I mean, could you argue that Drogba when he came in was a hidden gem?
I don't know. I don't know how good he was at the time. I don't know how good he was at the time for Marseille.
He was an upper coming striker.
No.
He was 25 at the time when we signed him as well.
No, trust me. He wasn't a hidden gem.
Yeah.
He had a brilliant UEFA Cup.
Against Newcastle.
Campaign. And also I think if I'm right, he knocked out both Liverpool and Newcastle.
Yeah, he knocked out Newcastle.
Yeah, I might be wrong. But I believe he did knock them out. So.
Alan Shearer actually talked about him, by the way. What's it called? In one of his Marshalldbdx pods about how he beat them against Newcastle actually, and when he was at Marseille. So I knew the Newcastle for sure.
Yeah. But the thing is, also as well with the Jackson thing is, if worse comes to worse as well, with getting him, is you at least have someone there, right, who is more experienced than Broja and Fofana, who say you don't, worst comes to worst, you don't manage to get another number 9 in, right? Worst comes to worst, worst case scenario, he can be there to do a job, and you have the chance to then reassess by January. And maybe by January, because I saw someone mention this earlier on Twitter, I think, maybe in January you decide, fuck it, and you go and get Tony, because by that point, back in football. So it could be something like that as well. We just don't know. Obviously, I think that we're going to try and sign a number 9, an actual first choice number 9. But getting someone like Jackson in allows a bit of a stopgap and a bit more of you're not going from either having to play Nkunku out of position or having to rely on one of the really young guys in terms of Broja or Fofana. You're allowing yourself a little bit of a buffer if the worst case scenario happens and we don't get another number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not sure what, unless they've really done the scout, I'm not sure what number 9 they really want. It's limited number 9s. Levi is not really an out-and-out number 9. Washington's the only one. He's going to be incredibly expensive. And we are negotiating. You will have to negotiate with Napoli, and they're very hard to negotiate with. So, I think someone said it earlier. It's you can't say you want us to scout and buy people we don't know about, so we don't have to spend money later, but then complain about it when you don't know who the player is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the whole point. It's just you can't.
What Danzo said, by the way, actually, is the only thing in terms of if we get Jackson in, you would have to get another number. You would either have to place all your trust in Broja for a month or a month and a half, depending on how far Senegal go during AFCON, or you'd have to get another number 9 in January.
Oh shit, AFCON is this year, isn't it?
Yes, which is, by the way, again, another thing with this. This also, by the way, is why I think if we get Jackson, we're not getting Osimhen. If we are, then Broja is 100% staying as a third choice striker, because that would be both strikers that we have going to AFCON, and both guys most likely going to the latter stages, whether that be semi-finals, finals, whatever. The only guy really that we're looking at that plays for an African country that we can afford to get is Onana, because he retired internationally. And it's I don't think we'd have anyone else leaving. I think it would literally just be Jackson if we signed him, Osimhen if we signed him. I think Fofana will go out on loan. I don't think we have any other African players. Koulibaly's leaving, Mendy's leaving. Who cares? So I think that's it.
Players, that is a big problem, though. I can't lie to you. I just geeked it because I think he plays for Nigeria. I think Nigeria is also in the AFCON. So
it's not a massive problem because it is only I think it's a month and a half. but it's one of those things of depending on how
that's the busiest period, Scott. The busiest period.
It depends on the. I think it depends on the fixture list. Because I remember we had it one year where I think it was under Tuchel where we had it, and we literally had in the space of a month we had Brighton, City, Liverpool, and I can't remember who else. Yeah, something like that. So it was the last. I think it was the last AFCON we had that. But it's only a problem I think if we're not prepared for it. But I think we can be as long as we get the pieces in place. As I said, if you're gonna get Jackson and you get Osimhen as well, Broja needs to stay. Just needs to.
Yeah.
Unless your plan is literally for a month and a half to play and Nkunku as the striker, which I'm not against, but it depends what the club wants to do. But it's just these things need to be thought about, and I'm sure the club has done them. Oh yeah, Ziyech as well. Who cares? He's leaving. Yeah, I'm sure the club has done this thinking. It's just going to be interesting to see kind of how they work it and what they do.
Yeah, I don't know who Ziyech is anymore. Yeah.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second, boys. I'm a little stuck here.
Just like.
Oh, there we go. I'm good. Woo! All right. Yeah, sure. Okay. So I want to move on to massive tweets here, so bear with me. I'm going to read all of it because there's a lot happened with this discussion with Inter. So let's go ahead and get through it as quickly as possible, and then we'll discuss everything all together. So let's start off with, okay. So we have here Matt Moretto reporting Kalidou Koulibaly is not part of Mauricio Pochettino's plans at Chelsea, pretty much solidifying that we are going to sell him this summer. Let's go ahead. Fabrizio Romano, conversations between Inter and Chelsea will take place very soon. Kalidou Koulibaly, priority target for Inter as revealed on Monday, waiting for CFC to clarify conditions. I believe this was a tweet from Monday. Chelsea and Inter are set to schedule a meeting. Understand Inter will ask Kalidou Koulibaly as priority target. Romelu Lukaku's future, main topic, but Trevor Chalobah for Inter, Andre Onana for Chelsea will be discussed as well. Moving on to the next tweet. Green light from Inzaghi to Inter directors to try to get Kalidou Koulibaly on loan. This has come from Di Marzio. Inter Milan's director is heading to London in the coming days, where again the discussion of Lukaku on another loan will happen. No, thank you. Let's continue real quick. Inter Milan value Onana at £50 million. Chelsea may be willing to offer Inter Milan Kalidou Koulibaly. This is coming from Matt Law. We continue on. Romelu Lukaku has initially expressed a reluctance to move to Saudi Arabia. He earned around £11 million a year at Chelsea, and his preference is to play at the highest level. Al Hilal are reluctant to pay Chelsea's asking price for Romelu Lukaku, but are open to a potential compromise to push a deal over the line. I call bullshit on this, but okay, whatever. Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku has received an offer from Al Hilal. He visited Saudi Arabia on Monday to meet with Al Hilal officials and has been offered 2-season contract worth a grand total of 50 million euros. Moving on, Inter and Chelsea had opening meeting today.
Whoa.
Oh.
What the hell just happened?
He's
Okay.
Am
Am I here? I'm here. Okay, I'm
You
back.
are
What? That was freaking weird. Sorry about that. Inter had a meeting with Chelsea as expected. Inter asked about Romelu Lukaku and Kalidou Koulibaly on loan. Inter director Asulio will be in London also in the next 24 to 48 hours to discuss with Chelsea. Again, Lukaku has been clear he wants Inter. Asilio, is that what you want me to say, bro? Jesus.
You even got it's just Di Marzio. It's a demon, something like that. It's crazy.
More meetings between Chelsea and Inter will take place later tonight and tomorrow. Italians insist on 70 million euros plus renewal on Romelu Lukaku's loan deal for Andre Onana. Jesus Christ, from the Gazzetta. And Gazzetta. Chelsea have told Inter they have no plan to accept loan deals from Romelu Lukaku and Kalidou Koulibaly at this stage. Talks between clubs will continue in order to find a solution. Players' position will also be crucial to understand how to proceed. And this is the last one right here. CFC and Inter meeting. Chelsea asked about Onana and Inter then asked for big money. Chelsea made it clear they're not paying crazy money. Chelsea also said as of today for Lukaku and Koulibaly loans. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. I have more tweets in regards to Onana a little bit later. But guys, I open the floor to you. How do we feel about all this going on? I think it's good for us that Koulibaly will be going the other way. But loans, hell no. You guys need to buy it. Like, stop scamming us.
Marshall, I've got a question for you and for everyone else in the chat. What does Koulibaly and Lukaku have in common?
They both played in Italy.
No, they both got bald heads.
Okay. Listen, you almost got me on that. Well, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, listen, man. This is the beginning of the market, but no one wants to send their players on loan. I think there was another tweet, another like news report saying that they don't want to repeat the same mistakes of the owners, which was by Simon Jordan of the Athletic, saying that the previous ownership were like Batshuayi and Bakayoko were like perennial loanies, where they just couldn't sell them, so they just kept on loaning them out, which I think is fine, man. Listen, man, get these guys out of here, man. We don't want them on our books. We caught Lukaku, man. You know what I mean? You lost, you bagged Bergen Stallion, then failed her. You failed Inter, man. Let's go away, man. We don't want you around here, big man. You know what I mean?
Bro,
he doesn't want to be here either. He's made it very obvious. Go ahead, Oliver.
This guy's talking about he wants to play at the highest level. What did you go and do at literally the biggest game besides the World Cup final?
True.
Yeah, you bought it, bro.
Yeah, man. You ain't got the minerals.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Fucking minerals, bro.
Go for it. Scott, Andrew, you guys want to add on to this whole Kalidou Koulibaly and Inter and Lukaku saga?
I don't know.
Would you take a loan?
Maybe that's what I'm debating, because like part of me just kind of wants these guys gone any way possible. Just like when I say gone, not in the squad, basically.
Yeah.
Not at the club. So potentially, it depends on if they can find a way to somehow like manufacture the Onana deal to include these guys in. Like, if there was some way, for example, you could go, okay, we'll include Mendy, let's just say, cash, and a Koulibaly loan, and the cash ends up being like, let's say 30 mil. You go, okay, here's 30 mil plus Mendy plus Koulibaly on loan. I'm taking that, because it then kills two birds with one stone in terms of we get an upgrading goalkeeper, we get rid of one player permanently that we don't want, and we get rid of another player, at least on loan, for temporary, like for the time being, and potentially get some of his wages off the books. Because I think that's the thing. With the loans as well, I think it's fine depending on what you do with the wage structure. If you can get these guys gone with them paying at least like half the wages, then I think it's fine. Because then we're only really paying like 150-ish, 160-ish grand a week for these guys rather than their full wages, which is better than nothing. So I think it depends on the way they can structure it. Like if it's literally just like a loan where it's no fee, you don't want those ones. Like if anyone's ever played Football Manager, those ones you try and do like at the end on deadline day. So you don't pay a single thing. You're not paying wages. You're not paying a loan fee. You're paying nothing just to get the guy. And if it's one of those, no, just close the door. Thank you very much. Like, no, thank you. But yeah, it kind of depends. Like, it's the problem with a lot of our outgoings is I kind of need to wait and see like what the concrete offer is that they're giving. Because like with the ones with guys, some of the guys we were talking about, like Havertz and Mount and etc. Like, I'm calm with all these guys going. Kind of, I don't really care about the fee, but I get the club does. So they kind of needs a middle ground needs to be found, where you kind of just do everything you can to get these guys out, but also on the other side making it in deals that make sense for the club. So I kind of just need to see where it goes and see what the options are and what the offers are on these guys first.
Can you bring up Trevor's comment? Trevor Smith is the last comment. Yeah, this is listen. The real situation is in Italy. A lot of these guys still have big wage budgets. So like AC Milan 2 years ago had a wage budget of £30 million. Inter Milan right now are trying to refinance their stuff, and they're in an extremely deep hole, literally pause. So let's just be honest about it. You know, if you can sell them to another club, Saudi's calling. I know Bayern apparently have some internal thoughts about Koulibaly. You know, let's try and make that happen. Bro. And also, I think the other thing is we need to speak to these of their agents at the same time. Let the agents know we don't want them at the football club. Look for another place for a player to go to, and then you work with the agent and the player to get a deal done.
Also, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Like on your point about the Italian things, this isn't just a thing they do with English clubs. They do this with all Italian clubs. Italian clubs do this. Like the amount of deals you see that's like loans with obligations in Italy is insane.
Yep, but this is a known thing, so we can't do anything about it. Like the problem with what's it called, Italian clubs is a lot of them are in debt. Like the stuff that happened to them in the 80s and 90s that they overspent is now just causing a level of cascade that they can't come back from.
You know, COVID a few years ago as well to add on to it.
Exactly, but that's the thing. As I said, as I was just gonna say, just because my mum came in the room, apologies. But yeah, it's like some of the deals we've seen, like for example, Chiesa was a loan with an obligation. Even the Bakayoko deal, I know.
Oh, it was a 2-year loan, bro.
2-year loan. The Bakayoko thing, by the way, as well, was meant to be a 2-year loan with an option, but they're terminating his loan a year early because they don't want to. I think it was either an option or an obligation if he completed the 2-year loan or something, but they're terminating it a year early. They've done this before with other players. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but this gets done a lot in Italian football. Just because
Locatelli was another one. Locatelli again with Juve, 1-year loan. With,
1 year loan.
With obligation to buy.
Like, it's just to defer the payment like as far back as they can, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the Bakayoko one was like 2 years with an option that gets triggered if minutes or appearance clauses are met or something. That's why he doesn't play anymore for Milan.
Yeah. It's like they do this all the time.
So, by the way, before we move on to the next topic, you guys in the chat, almost 60 of you, make sure you are smashing that like button. It does help spread the algorithm over to YouTube. But yeah, I guess, I mean, with Lukaku, I agree. If he's going to take a wage cut, which is rumored as well, he's willing to take a wage cut just to go back to Inter and do another loan. I guess, sure. I'd much rather get rid of him, obviously. With Koulibaly, though, I feel like we're just wasting time. Like, why loan him out again? Like, I'm sure there's other clubs that actually would like him, and would actually be willing to buy him outright, and might as well.
Saudi's falling, brother.
And with Koulibaly as well, you know, it wasn't reported. I don't think it was reported that he's willing to take a wage cut, so we'd have to cover a large percentage of that near 300k per week salary, which is just not good for us, obviously.
Really don't want to do that. Just really don't want to do that. But let's also move on to the other part of that story, which was discussing the situation with Onana. But let's put this all together with other goalkeepers as well. So we have a few bits of news in regards to Onana and some other keepers that we're linked with. By the way, just to put this out there, David Raya, that's essentially going to happen with Tottenham. It's agreed on personal terms. Now they just have to agree on a wage, right? Or a contract or whatever. A fee.
No, the fee with Brentford.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's going to be, they want around 14. I think they're just trying to see how much they can kind of get it down by, but it'll probably be around 35 mil, I assume.
Gotcha. Thank you, guys. So let's go ahead and start off with this tweet right here. In the next few days, Chelsea and Inter are holding meetings to discuss Lukaku and also the appreciation from Chelsea for Andre Onana. Inter want an important fee to even open negotiations. Chelsea will step up their pursuit of Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana. They have settled on Onana as their primary target and are now set to reopen dialogue with Inter Milan. Inter want at least £50 million, and alternative options include Georgi Mamardashvili, Gregor Kobel, and David Raya. David Raya is not happening anymore. And yeah, I butchered that name. Sorry. Breaking: Chelsea identify Andre Onana Aubameyang as top choices for new goalkeeper, but the prospect of Kepa being number one next season is not ruled out yet if the prices for other targets are deemed too high. Coming from Matt Law. Next tweet: DiMarzio reporting this. Chelsea are negotiating for Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. This is a name we have not seen in a while. And I'm surprised it's come to the limelight again. Inter Milan will try to understand how much Chelsea are interested in Andre Onana in the upcoming meeting. And then the last tweet, Robert Sanchez and Ilyan Meslier are backup options if Andre Onana cannot be done.
Jesus.
I guess some of you don't. I guess you guys
I'm not loving it.
I guess you guys don't rate Meslier. Sanchez, I wouldn't mind, but he's not my first
Meslier
choice.
cussed out our club, by the way. You know Meslier cussed out our club. It's literally from
Yeah, he did.
By the way.
Did. Meslier.
Who the hell cares,
Meslier.
man? He cussed out
He
our
doesn't
club,
deserve to have my name, his name be pronounced properly.
Hey, there's a reason Allardyce dropped Meslier. He's not a good shot stopper at all.
I mean, listen, I'm going to be fair. I think he has the potential to be a good goalkeeper, but he's just not there yet. He's really young. He's what, 21, 22, 23 maybe? I don't know. That's three different ages.
He's just not him, bro. He's just not him.
And the last thing you need is to jump up from
23.
Leeds to Chelsea where the expectations are going to be so much bigger. Like,
yeah. No. I reckon he would probably start over Kepa, though.
No, he wouldn't.
Because that was his big beef. Really?
He wouldn't start over Kepa. I'm going to put it right now. He wouldn't start over Kepa.
I actually agree with that. I don't know if he would.
Or he wouldn't. Like, in terms of performance and everything, you could make... Kepa has an argument to say that he's better than him. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, let's bring it back to Onana, though. I guess, what is a reasonable fee for you guys? Is 50 million pounds too much for Onana?
60 million is what you should be paying for him right now.
No more than that, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pounds, not euros, right?
Yeah, pounds sterling.
Here's my issue.
Oh
with this.
my god, guys, quickly, can you bring up CFZ Zibs?
No.
Can you just bring him up, please?
No, he doesn't deserve to be.
CFC Zibs, yeah, in the room next to me. You have no bullet. You have no ball knowledge. Do not even try to tap again, please. Get out of here, man. You don't deserve to be here. Bye.
So I think I'm fine paying 60, 70 odd million for Onana. I think he's worth it. He's a very good goalkeeper.
But at that point, Andrew, don't you think we should just pay for Magnan?
I think Magnan's situation is tougher to get. Unless you, like I said, I have no problem paying a very big price for a goalkeeper. I think they're very important.
Sure.
Not like some people in the Chelsea community, Carlito, who doesn't, respect the goalkeeper position, which is very funny. Seeing as before Kepa arrived, we had very good goalkeepers that literally helped this club win things, by themselves sometimes. So,
both the goalkeepers are going to go off to be legends.
I think Onana. No, I've watched him, but that Champions League final, he didn't do much with saves really. It was his distribution, his passing, and everything like that. It's like having an extra player on the pitch. Mm-hmm. Literally, who could just break the lines and do everything like that. I think this position is so important. I am not infused with having either Robert Sanchez or Meslier in goal. I'm not infused with going into a 6 year of having Kepa in goal. I mean, what the fudge? Do we have to 6 years now? Oh yeah, 6 years the charm. Now he's going to really show us what he's on about. It's like if you can't work the players into that because you don't want them on loan, don't want to sell them, fine, and just pay up the cash. Yeah, just pay up the cash for a goalkeeper. That's so important. We're not asking you to bring in loads of players in. We only need 4 players in this summer, and the goalkeeper's one of them. Just pay it up. It'll be worth it. Trust me. He's 27 as well. He's literally going into his prime as a goalkeeper. And if he avoids injury and hits the ground running, he could stay our goalkeeper for the next 7 to 8 years.
Wow.
Do you know how important that is? I mean, we've seen
it. We'd be set for a while.
We saw it Saturday. Edison came up clutch. I'm not even talking about the Lukaku header that hit his knee. I'm talking the last minute when he tipped it over.
Yes.
Look at Alisson this season. Alisson is the sole reason Liverpool were able to finish 5th this year. He saved them so many times. Not Salah. It's literally Alisson is the one who saved them. Look, we need a goalkeeper desperately, in my opinion, and I would pay it. I would just pay it.
I think if we can somehow, I think we have to find a way to negotiate, because they want 2 of our players, we want 1 of their players, and we have to find a way to negotiate. I mean 3 technically, because there's interest in Chalaba apparently. I think we just have to find a way to negotiate some type of deal where we can get, I'm not gonna say free, like a swap, but like a big discount for Onana off of that initial fee, and go from there. Because I do rate Onana, and honestly,
I don't know why we just don't go, hey, the money we owe you for Lukaku, take that for Onana, and whatever's there. Or I don't even mind going.
Wish it worked that way.
They haven't done it. It's been reported tonight. They asked for Lukaku and Koulibaly on loan, and we said no, which is fair dues. But I would even like sending them 3 players on. I would even still pay money for Onana as well, just to sweeten it. It's that important. Is that worth it to get those? If they want those 3 players and money, it is worth it. Trust me, to get this player in. There's no other. There's no. I'm not a fan of Raya. At all. I'm not impressed with
Sanchez.
The fact that he's got a high save percentage. Plays for Brentford. Do you know what I mean? He should have a high save percentage. He gets beat more times in long range shots than Kepa does. You know what I mean? I just
with the goalkeeper.
I've never seen that Medishvili who we're linked to, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah.
And Diego Costa, you know what? Diego Costa may be good, but he's got big question marks for me. Diego Costa.
He's got big release clause.
Diogo.
Diogo, yeah.
The thing for me with the goalkeeper, I agree with what Andrew said in terms of we've done the young option of could become something good. Like that's what Kepa was. Kepa at the time when we got him was kind of similar in a way to almost like, I'm not saying that he was as good or he's as good like in terms of level. I'm talking in terms of profile, in terms of at his time. It was kind of like what Mamarashvili is, what Meslier is, what like Sanchez is in terms of where he was at in his career. I don't want that anymore. Like we tried that, it didn't really work. Whether that's Kepa's fault, not Kepa's fault, whatever, it didn't work. I want us now to go for the set thing, like the set commodity, the known commodity in goal. Whether that be Maignan or whether that be Onana, one of those 2 guys. I don't want anyone else, because it's not like, the thing for me is it's not like with midfielders where you can see some variance. There's some variance. Like I said, we tried that, it didn't work. I want now the known commodity. I want what we know, and we know for the most part Onana and Maignan. That's forward.
And we've already got the kind of unknown or kind of unproven commodity. We've got Gaga Slanina already, who's going to be hopefully going out on loan as well.
True. That's very true. That's someone that we is it confirmed he's going to go on loan, Oliver?
Well, we kind of hope that he does just to get game time. Like
okay.
Yeah,
because I think
we don't have enough competitions to play in next season for him to get significant minutes.
And he's only 16, 17, bro. So he needs to.
True. No, actually, I think he's turning 19 now. But regardless, I think he does need another loan. We should, get him acclimated to Europe, for example, because I think this year his loan was to Chicago Fire, if I recall correctly. So he was back to the MLS.
Yeah, we loaned him up the second half of the MLS season.
Yeah, only for the last few months. And then so from, I think it was from about December onwards, he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
I think he played a bit for the development squad as well.
He is.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's another player that I don't know what his involvement is going to be with the team in preseason, but let's leave it up to Poch to see what he's going to do with him as well. Okay, so I'm gonna. It's in Poch's hands, but yeah, sure. Let's let these 2 guys together real quick. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Lavia and Caicedo. There's been a little bit of news regarding these guys. A very important position, obviously, that we have to take care of. Not just the striker position or the goalkeeper, but let's discuss. The Athletic reporting Chelsea are stepping up their long-term interest in Romeo Lavia. Southampton are reluctant to sell him unless they receive an offer in the region of £50 million. Chelsea, if they proceed with this one, will obviously look to pay less than that. Continuing on with Lavia, Arsenal are interested in Romeo Lavia. Chelsea have held talks over moving for the Southampton midfield coming from Jacob Steinberg. Now, in regards to Moises Caicedo, Chelsea are working on new signings behind the scenes. Let me say this again. Moises Caicedo is on the list, and they are having conversations. It's an open situation coming from Fabrizio Romano. And then one more tweet here. Clubs are waiting for Brighton to decide on the final price of Moises Caicedo. From what I understand, it could be close to £80 million. Chelsea and Arsenal are there. Chelsea are working behind the scenes on this Caicedo deal, but nothing has been agreed or advanced coming from Fabrizio Romano. So it looks like the reason it's kind of been slow, the reason nothing has been done with the Caicedo is because I don't think even Brighton have come to a consensus on the evaluation of the player. What do you guys want to say about this one? On Lavia, the 50 million, you don't think we're going to get Caicedo?
Yes, I'm actually willing to put a good bet on that as well. I don't usually bet, so just to let everyone know. So
£5.
You know what? Yeah, £5. We'll do £5.
I'll do it with you. £5. All right. Let's shake. I think we are going to get Caicedo. I think it's going to happen. We just got to find out when Brighton decide to give us what they value him at.
No, we already know what they value. The literally reports are coming up between 70 to 80 million. You've got him. The reality of the situation is that they also want Colwill. That's the difference between like us and Arsenal right now. If you were like an Arsenal who had no players that they wanted, we could have said 80 million bank. He's our player. We can't do that right now because they keep on asking for Colwill every time we come down to have talked to him. So. Yeah, listen, man, it is what it is. Lavia for 50 million. I probably think you can get it for 40. I could see that happening. So yeah.
Can you stop bringing
this guy's comments up, please? I don't want to see this guy. Can you stop bringing up, please?
I was going to say, because Southampton are on a bit of a madness with their valuations. Being a relegated club, they want 50 million for Ward-Prowse as well.
That makes sense.
Ward-Prowse makes sense. The Lavia Ward-Prowse makes sense because we're talking about probably the best free kicker in the league prior to being relegated. Probably the best free kicker in the country, to be honest. Probably. Yeah.
The thing is, if we're keeping it real, though, yesterday, the transfer window opened. So of course there's going to be these crazy exorbitant prices happening. By next week or at the end of this week, we're going to be seeing both sides have decided to come a bit more closer in terms of valuation, and then it will be hickory done. Literally.
I hope so.
And the thing is, Southampton need money.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I just think £30 million, 35 for Lavia seems a lot more reasonable. 50, it seems a little over the top. Scott, 50. I know you disagree with that. Like, where are your?
I don't necessarily disagree with it. It's just it's the nature of the what's the word? Like the market where we're at. Like that's his release clause, and this is a guy who Southampton obviously don't want to get rid of. Like he's probably their best player after Ward-Prowse. So yeah, like I just don't see why they'd want to get rid of him. And so they're going to try and push it as close to, push it as close to the release clause as they possibly can. So I don't really blame them. As I said, it's kind of the situation that Chelsea are in, and it's whether they decide to go for someone like a Lavia. So it's kind of whether they decide to overpay for guys like Caicedo or Lavia, considering their, I say, slightly more known quantities in terms of the Premier League, just from playing in there last season, or they decide to go slightly out there. That's kind of on the club to decide what they want to do. Because we probably will have to end up overpaying for at least one midfielder. So It kind of depends on what they want to do, really.
Yeah, I think we can get them down to a lower price, and I think we can also get Brighton down to a lower price. I think we saw that happen with McAllister. I think McAllister was valued at what, 50. But so what was the release? What was the value or the release clause that Brighton had announced versus what Liverpool actually ended up walking out with.
I mean, it was always 35 million. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where
it was
those
50.
I don't know where that came from, but I don't see a reason why it would have ever changed. It was always 35.
Yeah.
I've heard varying reports on that. I won't lie. Like I actually don't know what fully is going on.
Apparently,
with that.
before the World Cup or just before like the new season started, he signed a new extension and they inserted a release clause. That's all I know. I don't know what the value seems to be varying between 35 million to like 42 million, somewhere around about there anyway, that they paid.
Yeah, I mean, if it was up to Brighton, they definitely would have they would not have taken 35 million for a World Cup winner. So, you know, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start to round it up. Ladies and gents, if you haven't done so already, make sure you are smashing that like button. Like I said multiple times now, it does help out the channel tremendously, which is why I emphasize it so much. So please go ahead and do so. Feel free to check out our memberships as well and check out our links below for other content. So that being said, we're going to end this one on discussing the Chelsea legend that is Money Mace. Okay, let's go ahead and...
You're not saying it right, man. You're not saying it right, man. It's Mancunian Minerals Mount, bro. Get it right, please.
But Johan Cruyff Mount? Is that what I was supposed to be saying?
Mancunian Minerals Mount. You don't get it?
I don't even know what that... Dropping your stuff over there. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah, you're from America. I keep forgetting that, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know these terminologies, man. You what, mate? Anyways, Matt Law reporting here. Exclusive update to earlier Mason Mount story. Manchester United today had a first bid of £40 million rejected by Chelsea, but remain confident he won't sign a new contract. Plus Arsenal, Havertz news and all that stuff. Okay, that's something else. So we already discussed that anyways. Moving on. Next tweet. Ben Jacobs reporting here. Manchester United will be back for a second bid for Mason Mount. Rejected the initial 40 million offer near instantly. There remains a high probability Mount will leave, and he's keen on the Manchester United move. Chelsea sticking to their valuation for now and won't go. Manchester United won't go above 60 million pounds. Moving on to the next tweet. Manchester United are confident Mason Mount will not sign a new contract. Chelsea are now facing a straight decision between dropping their 70 million pound valuation or letting him go for free in 12 months. That's reporting from Matt Law. We got more here. Mount has already turned down at least 2 contract offers from Chelsea, and his decision to do so is not believed to be purely financial. With the London club failing to qualify for the Champions League, negotiations over his future moving between the ownership and co-sporting director Paul Winstanley, which I don't know if we mentioned this, but ever since Winstanley's been in the picture, this all took a U-turn, and it looked like we stopped trying to really negotiate with Mason, and things went a little sour.
Just want to take quickly while you just on that tweet that you were just on, citing us failing to qualify for the Champions League, which by the way he had a massive hand in. So you know you can't complain at us for that. Sorry, mate.
No, yeah, of course.
That is ironic as fuck. I can't lie to you, man.
Ahmed, like, these guys don't have any self-awareness. So many of them, literally. Like, we've talked about this, man.
True. Moving on to the next 3 tweets. Manchester United will insist on Mason Mount for under 60 million pounds and closer to 50 million if they can get it. They hope CFC will budge on the price. United confident because they know Mount is keen to join. He is top priority, but the club won't meet Chelsea's 70 million pound valuation. Next tweet. Pochettino is trying to change Mason Mount's mind, but Manchester United feel he wants them, and they will bid again and attack in the next days. And then breaking Chelsea. Okay, we already knew that one. So yeah, so it's finally being done. There is bids being made for Mason Mount. 40 million, get the fuck out of here. At least 50 million for Mason Mount, and then we can discuss. We can go. How do you guys feel about the 40 million proposed price offer?
I mean, it's a first. it's a first offer. It's kind of like the same thing with contracts. You usually lowball at first, and then eventually you'll reach a compromise with the other party. So, as a first offer, I don't really care. You expect Man United to raise what they're willing to give, and equally you expect us to kind of lower from that 70 million stance, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, 70 million is still a lot. It's not as bad as I was thinking. 80 million is way too much. 70 million, I think that's a little bit more reasonable. I think the sweet spot is going to be 60 to 55 or 60 to 50. That's where I stand on this. You guys have your doubts that maybe this won't happen now because of that high price tag, and he might walk on a free. And you got a grin on your face.
Depends how stubborn we are.
I already said to you before, man. 55 million will probably be the figure plus 10 million in add-ons. Watch this space.
Maybe.
No, it's not. That's what's gonna happen. I can almost guarantee that's what's gonna happen. It's either gonna be 55 million plus 5 or 55 million plus 10. That's what's gonna happen.
I could see that. You know what? I'm inclined to believe that would happen.
Literally, it's the same thing that's probably gonna happen with Havertz as well. With whether it be Bayern Munich or Arsenal, where it's gonna be literally 55 plus 10 for both players, and Chelsea literally gonna be making 110 on both.
Is that enough to clear up that FFP stuff that we have to clear up?
Yes.
No, it has to be 150 mil,
doesn't it? We don't need to worry about that stuff, bro. That's not our problem right now. You know, if we sell Havertz right now, I think he's only got, I don't know how much left he's got in his contract, minus whatever he has. If he sell it for like 55 million, we're making more than more than enough profit. So it's not too much to worry about. If we sell both Havertz and Mount, we should be in the clear, actually.
I mean, we're also going to be selling Gallagher too, so we're going to be making a decent amount this transfer window when you think about it.
Bro, it's not for Chelsea Football Club. It's not about how much money we need for transfer. It's just about selling the guys that we just need to sell that don't want to be at the football club. Simple as that, man.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyone else want to add on to this one? Fuck, we got over 50 votes on that video. Okay, that's going to happen now. The Havertz debate.
Me and
okay.
Marshall. I'll let you know.
Bro, it's an hour and a half. I'm cooking you.
Listen, Marshall, you should know. I used to be a debate. I'm a debate champion, by the way. This is not a joke. It's a personal thing. I'm actually a debate champion for secondary school. So I'm letting you know, bro. I'm coming for you, big man.
All right. Bring it, man. So we'll be doing that video eventually. But back to the topic. Mason Mount. I think 55 plus 10 million add-ons. I think that's probably going to be what it is. I think you're on the money there, Ahmed. It's looking good for the transfer window when it comes to we just have to make these sales happen. As long as they happen, I think this is already a good transfer window. Get the players we need to get in. Caicedo is going to be expensive. I'll even be honest. If we manage to get Gallagher, Havertz, and Mount for those prices, the 60 range, around there, 50 to 60 range, I might even think we might be in a strong contention to go for Osimhen.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Because I know right now everyone seems to be talking about it like it's a pipe dream, but when you think about it, those are just 3 players we have to sell. We have to sell a lot more, so we are going to have the funds.
I think with Osimhen, it really depends on. It majorly depends on whether or not he's willing to forego the Champions League for at least one season.
55 million will be the figure. Yeah, probably. All right. Any final notes on Mason Mount and this offer from United before we go ahead and close out the show?
It's going to be interesting to tune into what our good friend Minerals of Sea is going to have after this. You know what I mean? What's it called? I think Surfer said this. After all this stuff happens, what's next, bro? Who's the new gimmick gonna be? So we're gonna find out, bro. We're gonna find out.
I genuinely think that we're going to be seeing some Manchester United streams over there.
Ahmed, we know what the gimmick is. It's hate on Bowley.
Yeah.
Starbucks again. What, Starbucks again? Oh my lord. Yo, he loves talking about Starbucks, you know, let's cross that. Let's cafe there, bro. So I say, come on, guys, there's Tim Morton. Oh,
yes.
Trevor Harris, you misspelt the word. You misspelt the third word in that your last message.
Oh my god!
Also, just the general public, by the way, in England, if you happen to see a very old-looking man muttering minerals under his breath, going on to buying a length of rope, please contact someone.
Contact the officials.
Yeah.
Big up, boys. Big up in the chat. All right, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. We have a call-in show. You can join the call-in show once a month. We have in the beginning of first week of every month. If you guys want to do call-ins,
A good man, Chopper.
but there's your raid message. We're gonna do the usual, and we're gonna raid Sarcasm City. He's on a panel right now, so to go ahead and join that discussion, have some fun over there. You guys did vote on whether or not you want to see a Havertz debate on this channel. I guess I'm doing it, so I'll announce that when that happens. There's a possibility there is a stream this Saturday, because we have to react to the Premier League table that we predicted, and some of us botched.
Please no.
I will plan that. Ahmed, you did post the YouTube channel on the chat, so guys, make sure you do check out Ahmed's channel right there.
Subscribers, guys.
Almost at 100 subscribers. Help him out. Also check out the link in the description. That's also his channel. But check out the content, man. He's making some good content over there. So go over there, roast him, and then smash. As long as you smash the like button.
I give good takes, guys. You know what I'm saying? I give amazing takes. Better than Marshall, man. You know what I'm saying?
There's plenty.
This guy loves Havertz too much, man.
There's plenty to roast. Okay. All right.
All of you in the chat, by the way, everyone that voted, you're responsible for what happens next. When Marshall's breaking out in cold sweats, right, you're responsible.
When Marshall tries to come up with a random stat and we break it down, that's on you guys, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
listen. Whatever happens in that stream stays on that stream. But
when Marshall's out here stuttering more than Johnny Minerals after he's done a line of then don't blame us.
Shut the fuck up. Nah, shut the fuck up. Never. You know what? Just for that, we're going backstage. Fuck out of here. All right. Never.
I'm not doing any stats.
Oh my days. It's honest. It's gonna be like a 5v1. I'm already
expecting. Don't bring any violent stats.
It's not.
Don't bring any violent
We're gonna tag each other in. We're gonna tag each other in. So it's gonna be like,
oh my god!
You guys are gonna be tagging each other in, but it's gonna sound like this.
Scott, you take the next 10 minutes. I'm just going for a break.
Do you guys remember when it was John Cena and what's his name? Randy Orton versus the whole of the Raw roster. It's gonna be the opposite of that.
You guys are ridiculous. You guys are absurd.
Well, Marshall, by the way, if you need some backup, like go and talk to Alexis or something like that. Maybe he'll help you out.
Oh,
hey, thank you. That is a good idea. You know what? All right, Alexis, if you're watching this, might need your help on this one. He's more of a stand than I am when it comes to Havertz. But
start marriage life, coming back from a honeymoon.
Oh yeah, big up to Alexis. The man just got married. He just came back from his honeymoon. So congrats to you, my friend. Shout outs to the Kopka's View. Let's go check out his channel as well. Big fan.
Sorry, honey. I can't. We can't do this. I'm going to do a Kai Havertz today.
Oh my days. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. As always, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, check out the links in the description to Ahmed's channel, the Twitter, the Discord, where we watch the watch alongs and have a lot of fun there, and all that stuff is down there below. Check that out. Leave a comment down below, let us know what you think about my stinky Havertz take or Ahmed's stinky Conor Gallagher take, or all that fun stuff. Okay, and then also be sure to check out the memberships. I'm gonna give a big shout out to our proper casual tiered members and higher. That goes out to Winter Surfer, Strasbourg Steve, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Epicman, and Adrian. Big up to you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And big up to everyone else that's also a member of the Casually FC fan base. I appreciate you guys. You do help out the channel tremendously by doing so. We're going to go ahead and raid Sarcasm City. Copy and paste that raid message. Spam it up all up in his chat. Let him know where you're coming from. You're coming from the Casually FC channel. And on that note, guys, we'll see you over there. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We'll see you again soon. And until next time, stay casual.